space. The digital void. These are the voyages of the streaming channel Captain Spicy Pants. Its continuing mission: to explore strange new content, to seek out new communities and new memes, to boldly go where no streamer has gone before.
Is it working now? It should be. I hope so. I know you guys couldn't hear me. I was looking at the monitor when it went off. I think you guys can hear me now. I think you guys are going to be fine. I just realized that you couldn't hear me about 10 seconds ago, but I think now I should be coming through. I think my mic got unplugged somehow, and I don't know how it did. Hopefully it'll be fine. I'll give it a second. Let me know if it comes up. Okay, there we go. All right. So yes, see, this is what happens when I miss a day of streaming. Nothing works, and especially with like power fluctuations and everything else, nothing works. Yeah, so we're gonna just try and make do with what we can. My stream deck's not working. My microphone is like on the fritz, but hey, we're here Tuesday night. It's gonna work. It's gonna be fine. So, and it's really weird because it's never done this before, but you know. Epoch, Ponderman, and Don Brook, hello. Good to see you all. Also, I loved what I was saying when I was muted. Was I loved coming in, and the first thing I read is, I just told my wife that her new shoes are ugly. She is now giving me the silent treatment. I can now sit back and watch my stream in peace. Either that is a 100 IQ move, or you are sitting in the doghouse, or both. But either way, like, that is great. I love reading stuff like that. Fantastic. Good on you, Ponderman. Like, way to play the game. So like I said, we weren't live last night, but we did put out a video. We put out 2 videos last week, and I did talk about Bob's journey at the end of week 6. If you're not familiar with the free-to-play restrictions and everything else, right, you're limited by an EC cap on here. I have finally realized that Bob cannot do this on his own, no matter how hard I try. If I was to do it, if Bob was to do this by himself, he's looking at months before he can even refine enough dilithium to break that EC cap. So that being said, we have decided that Bob is going to have friends. There are restrictions on his friends, though, and I did go over that in the video, but I will just reiterate it here. So the restrictions are as followed. Only recruit characters is all they can be. We can't just make meal farming characters, right? We do have the Delta Recruit event that's going to be here either next week or the week after. It's right around the corner. So Bob's going to get 3 more friends at that point. And why is Bob going to get 3 more friends? He's going to get a Romulan recruit, a Federation recruit, and a Klingon recruit. Delta recruit, sorry. For the account unlock rewards, and it's also going to help Mule that extra dilithium that they can earn and help Bob get the Zen he needs so he can break that EC cap. Once that happens, I don't know where we're going to continue with Bob as far as, does he just buy more stuff from the Zen store, or does he just leave it at that EC cap and continue to grind elsewhere? I don't know yet. I haven't decided past that point, but I think right now, yeah. Forget what the cap is. 12 million, 50 million. If you can buy a key and bank it, you cash in later. I believe it's 15 mil. Yeah, it's 15 mil. I'm pretty sure it's 15 mil. I have already stashed money in the bank. And so here's the other thing. Here's the kicker, right? So everything you guys we talked about here on stream last week, and especially the advice y'all were given in chat, paid off immensely. I know for a fact that, like, Don Brook, you were going over this. I think all of you were going over this. I didn't delete any of Bob's mail because I wanted to show you guys, like, yes, this is a viable way to make EC. I literally sold just training manuals on him. That's it. 150,000 here, 150,000 there. And I mean, this was selling as of today. So yeah, it's a viable method to make EC. The problem is, if you hit that 15 million EC cap like we did, you have to put it in your account bank, and it has to build that way until you unlock your EC, and then you can put it all back on your character. So this is why we decided to do the route we're doing. Bob is kind of screwed at the moment. At the moment, dilithium wise, he is starting to build back up. Of course, being off stream last night, wasn't able to do anything. I didn't even get to play until really late last night. So, but yeah, he's getting close to his EC cap, or to his dilithium cap already, with only the gamma recruit, right? So it has kind of been helpful because, like I said, the rules are simple. We make recruit characters. All the dilithium that the recruits make for now, and this could change later on depending on how we decide to do this account, but for now, all dilithium must be moved from the recruits to Bob, because this is essentially still Bob's journey, right? Like, I can't be using dilithium if I'm trying to build dilithium. So that's kind of the stipulations I put on it, and then we'll just kind of see how it pays out from there, right? So we're going to keep it at 25, and we're going to put this, I don't know how I randomly got like 18 dilithium out of nowhere. I don't know if it was just like maybe one of these zones or something gave it to me. I'm not really sure. I still think it's strange that PC has a cap while console doesn't. There are a couple things I think that console doesn't have that PC does, as far as limitations and restrictions and stuff, and that's because I think of your guys' overall population / economy, right? Because, like, even your all's like the consoles in exchange, isn't it like 300 and something? Is the stuff upgraded enough to get by? Yes, it is for now to get by. It is for now, and then we'll go back into well, the nice thing is, at least with the Gamma Recruit, right, it all comes as Mark 12 and everything, right? So this stuff will carry this character through all content to get extra dilithium. But Bob's equipment's pretty set for right now. We do have a new alert that we can start, which is the Galactic Red Alert. We're going to do this on Bob. We're going to get him the Captain Specialization Point and Ultimate Tech upgrade, because that's going to help him when it comes to upgrading gear. So we're definitely going to be running that. Like I said, Gamma Recruit and Delta Recruits are going to be strictly just meals for Bob. That's it. So we don't really need to run anything. I am kind of passively background building this Gamma Recruit, doing the duty officer stuff and the few Admiralty stuff that I can do. But since I can't spend dilithium, I can't get a bunch of ships on here. I did, however, already get the USS Postok and the USS Sally right on here, right? So yeah. What about that old streamer technique of having watchers mail stuff? What do you mean as far as like as far as y'all mailing stuff? Like, what do you mean? Oh, you're talking about like for like upgraded equipment, or maybe I'm not quite fully understanding it. Let me know what you mean by that, and then we'll circle around back to that. But for now, like I said, I'm just kind of passively building him up, getting what rewards I can, because my thought process is this: any of this stuff right here isn't really going to affect Bob, more or less, since his reputation stuff is already up there at tier 5. This stuff isn't really going to affect him, right? Oh, you're talking about, okay, I see what you're saying. So like if I send the EC off to somebody, yeah, I get what you're saying. If I sent the EC off to somebody and then they bought it for me and whatnot, right? Josh, that's funny. We're gonna get to that here in a second. I did see you in that stream earlier. Yes, we'll get to that here in a second. That was great. I actually saw, so you put your comment like right at the same time I did mine, Joshua, and like it stacked on top of each other, and I was laughing because I was like, that is so perfect. I'll get to that here in just a second, but I think if Epoch, if I remember what you're talking about really quick, like you're saying if I take the EC, give it to a viewer and just say, hey, I need this item, can you buy it for me, and then send it back to me. I get what you're saying. I mean, that could be an option. Yeah, it could be. I've seen it done that way before. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see how it pans out. We'll see how we'll just kind of play around with this and see. I think for sure what I want to do is at least get Bob the EC cap unlocked, and then we can make any other decisions from there, because I think we're far enough into Bob's journey where like now where like now we get to kind of play around with making alternate characters and whatnot, just because like one, we've already put a video out there. We've actually got a second video coming around this week, but we have a video out there talking about how new players should make alts and why they should make alts. So I feel like at this point in Bob's journey, it's been what, a month and a half now, so he could easily be making alts to kind of enhance that free to play experience account. This would be the right time frame to do it. So but you were yeah, I saw, yeah, so I mean, like I do I support fellow STO streamers, and obviously I just, you know, I'll bounce around and see who's streaming when I can and whatnot. So can't I just Venmo Bob some money so he can buy? Yeah, we're gonna open up Bob a donation fund. But so Joshua McCurry said earlier, have I started making my STO cake? So it was kind of funny. We were sitting, and I'm sure a lot of you might have been there as well. We were sitting in the developer Q&A, which I have some stuff I want to go over with that, because here's the thing: we're kind of just sitting here chilling, right? We're just chilling with Bob. We're really in no rush to do anything, so we'll kind of talk about some stuff in the meantime. But while we're sitting in there, whoa, my camera just fell. What just happened there? See you guys? Hold on. This is what I'm saying. Like everything is on the fritz tonight. Everything is on the fritz. I don't know why that just happened. I saw it moving as I was talking to you all. Okay. This is that cursed week. All right. Everything will be smooth and running next week for sure. Anyways, so like we're chilling and we're in the developer Q&A stream for the watch list, right? So, you know, another controversial topic that just happened this previous week, right after I had left you all for last Tuesday. So we're sitting in the stream, and a couple of people were asking about like, oh, what does it take to be an STO content creator, right? And Kel had said like basically, you know, oh, if you, I don't know, what was he saying? Like, oh, if you do write-ups and stuff like for Star Trek Online, you're a content creator. It's not just the YouTube and Twitch stuff. And then he was like, yeah, if you go and bake a cake or something. And so as soon as he said like, oh, if you go and bake a cake and it's STO related, I said, oh, I could quit STO and open up a bakery. And like Joshua McCurry at the same time said, right, like not even 0.5 seconds before I even hit enter, he was like, time to go fire up the oven. And I just started laughing. I was like, this is great. Like we all like we're on that same page. Like let's just stop the YouTube stuff, guys. Let's just go bake cakes for STO, and we're STO content creators. So that's where that whole thing came from. It was great. I got a laugh out of it. But that being said, with watching the stream earlier today, I don't know. I kind of feel a little bit more optimistic about this whole watcher list thing. At least, okay, here's the thing. I will say this. I'm a little bit more optimistic on Jeremy's part, but veterans know. Everybody knows at this point. It's no secret. We have a lot of trust that was broken back in the early days. And this is not me bashing them whatsoever. This is just me saying we had some rough times back in the early days, especially when they hit us with these nerf bats, right? Whether we're talking Delta Rising nerfs, whether we're talking proton consoles, we're going back to, you know, the plasmonic leech console. I mean, like, no matter what time it was, they hit us hard. And when they did, we kind of felt like everything that we earned or bought or anything else was like, at that point, like, what's the point, right? That was actually one of those kind of turning points in the game, and it did hurt the player base quite a bit. It seems to me, and I could be wrong, and I'm hoping that he's gaining that trust back by his sentiments today, especially when he said back then that was the old him, and this is now where he's at and how he views things now and how he's looking at things like, I don't want to nerf these things into the ground. I don't want to take your toys away. What I want to do is find alternatives to your toys kind of situation. Kind of like, I want you guys to have options instead of just that one best one. And we're still going to leave that one best one at least in the 1, 2, 3, top 3 area. But I want you guys to have other toys. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? Like that kind of resonated with me a bit. I said, okay. I said, I'm not going to put all my, you know, I'm not going to put all my chips on red and say, yep, I'm rolling red right now. We're going in. You got it back. I'm still skeptical in the aspect of like, look, if we get hit with that nerf again for that big, you know, kind of nerf bat that we're all used to from the past, all you're going to do is burn a lot more players. And I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they are. I genuinely do believe what they have said, but again, it's one of those things like, listen, if you do that, you're gonna piss off a lot of people more so than you did back that last big roundabout. This game has no content to earn items whatsoever. Nerfs make no sense, especially when they cash in for years on it. That's a very fair assessment too. That's something I wanted to tackle too. We've had this talk here in chat, and I kind of want to tackle that about kind of the oddities of STO when it comes to this MMO, or rather this as an RPG game versus other RPG games. Because the wildest thing I've never really thought about, I think this is a Cryptic exclusive thing. All the items in this game, you can't earn at all. Like, I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. You can earn them. You can earn them through dilithium and, you know, converting and stuff. I mean, loot drops, right? Think about this. You go into elite content, and here's a perfect example. I'm sure by now all of you know the news about Destiny 2 going down the drain. It hurts me a little bit. I was a big fan of Destiny 2. Played it for many years. That being said, think about Destiny 2. The hardest content on that game, you go into there, you get your, what they call exotic items, right? You get your exotic items, and you gear your character up. And because you gear your character up that way, their money market is focused on cosmetics, which I think honestly should have been STO's kind of outlook. I feel like STO should have kind of designed a system to be like you earn ships or you earn consoles or you earn whatever based on the hardest content that you can complete. This is the only game that doesn't do that I've ever played as an MMO. You have to buy all the in-game stuff. Like, all the drops in this game mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. They're all salvage material. They're all like little filler space that you can sell or whatever, right? Like, it's wild to me. I've never played an MMO like that. But the thing is, I've been indoctrinated to it for 14 years. So yeah. Question rate content with overpowered items means 0, no rewards to gain. Yes, yeah, exactly. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, that's exactly. That's where I'm at, Don Brook. That's why I said I'm optimistic. I think they're gonna head in the right direction. I hope they do. I really hope that this is that. Look, I've been praising Cryptic, and I'm also gonna be a critique of them when I should be. I'm not gonna glaze them 24/7. That's just not how it works. I'm not gonna be a yes man. I'm not gonna sit there and sugarcoat things, right? But at the same time, I will give credit where credit's due, and I will also critique them where I think they can improve on. So far in 2026, I have been giving them a lot of W's. I do think the way that they handled last week was a big L. Like, they should not have freaking done that. That was terrible. It does feel like there was a little bit of damage control as the week went on, and then into today. Granted, like I said, today kind of shines a light on things. So if they continue this route, I think they're shaping up to be the company they should have been 10 years ago. And I'm hoping it's not too little too late. And I think that sentiment is kind of across the board, right? Like, it's kind of like we're seeing more communication from them. We're seeing better improved ships and stuff from them. We're seeing better additions to the game from them. We're seeing a lot more stuff, right? So yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? So during that stream, they said this summer event, as y'all know, before the summer events, oh, it's not up right now, but anyways, on the buyout option for the summer event, it was with Lobby, right? So you couldn't buy it out with Zen, but if you had, like, what was it, 1,500? I think it was 1,500 Lobby. Anyway, something like that. This year they're changing it. Now it's going to be as a dilithium sync option. I'm assuming it's going to be the cost of a premium ship on the C store. They said it's going to be many millions of Zen. They didn't give us a number, but let me show you guys what I mean. I believe it can't be. Sorry, I meant to do 5,000 Zen. I believe it could be about that. I think it could be either this price. It could be about 25 million. It could be about. Sorry, I meant to do this. I think it could be. Yeah, I think it could be about that. I think that could be that right there. I think it'd be about 5 million, maybe somewhere in that price range, because they said it's going to be a couple million Zen to buy the buyout. I don't see it being more than the premium packs. I don't see it being less than what is a typical ship. I don't see it being less than that, right? So I don't see it being less than 1.25 million. So I think if the pricing is going to be anywhere, it's going to be from upwards of $50 worth of Zen, which is 2.5 million, to like one of their premium packs. I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be that, because if you think about it, 5 million dilithium it's a bit, and a lot of people probably are sitting on this, believe it or not. At least up inside here, they're probably sitting on it, you know. So it wouldn't be past the realm of possibility, because we already know that it takes somewhat like 45 days to 60 days. So yeah, exactly. You can go get your wallet, and that was one of the things they even talked about, like whether you're sitting on it as a player, you already have this amount of whatever the millions of dilithium is going to be, or if you want to just go and pull out, if you're financially able to go pull out the credit card and then buy the dilithium, yes, you have that option to buy out the event. So this is going to be their test run of it to see how well it resonates with the community and how much dilithium I guess they get rid of in that aspect. So Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't be surprised because let's see. Actually, you know what? It might be even more than 100. What's their let me not go on sale. What's their I mean, they could do a Muds Market situation, right? Could you imagine that if they did it? No, because it's only one ship. It's only one ship, so they wouldn't do this. I guarantee you it wouldn't be this. But I would say something like, I'm trying to think what the, yeah, something like this might be somewhat what they're looking at. Like I said, and the possibility of 10,000, $100 to like 1350. You know, something around this area. I just don't know if they can necessarily justify the fact that you're getting one ship minus all this stuff, right? So I don't know if they can necessarily justify that. Maybe they're just saying like that's what you're getting with the summer event, or you just do it, you know? Like I don't know. I'm not sure how they're gonna do that. I'm very interested to see how they plan this out, but I don't think it's gonna be outside this realm of possibility right here. If I am wrong, I'll admit it, but I just don't see how they're not gonna want to try and bring down the Zen market with, you know, a couple million here and there. So yeah, Vanity Shield is 250,000, but I think, I don't know, I can only see that working if they keep it up for dilithium permanently. Most people play the events, especially the summer. Yeah, oh yeah, and that's kind of like what the theme is that we're waiting for. Most, I think everybody is, right, at this point. We're all waiting for the summer event, right? Because it's Ryza. We already know that some of the best kit modules, kit frames in game, which is actually something I'm surprised that maybe they haven't announced, isn't on their quote unquote watch list. But let's be real, when it comes to kit frames, there's really only 2 in the entire game that is considered best in slot. Now, doesn't mean that the other kit frames aren't viable whatsoever, but I'm saying like on their whole like watch list situation of like we're looking at the ones that stand out. I'm honestly surprised that the Ryzen kit frames weren't on there, because like that's kind of the selling point of this whole event, right? Like that you go get this, you get your 4 kit modules, you either get that bonus damage or you don't get those kit modules and you get the other one, that the kit frame that gives you damage otherwise. So I'm like, I don't know, it's weird. But that's the whole reason why we're also holding off on videos for anything Ryza related in case they change something. Plus, I want to cover that when that comes around to it. So there will be a video this Thursday. After this Thursday, I don't know what next week's video schedule is going to be, because we are all waiting for the summer event. So I don't know if I'm going to... next week might be a slower week. It might be a faster week. It just kind of depends. But want to go over that in depth. Okay. All right. So let's actually, like, you know, not spend 4 hours talking. We can. I don't mind. I'm just saying, let's get some stuff. Yeah, Terraform, I'm at 720 hit performance with it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm just saying, like, there is it's odd to me that there's not anything on their radar, at least that they've shown, as far as like ground stuff. Like, I'm glad they did the radiolithic kit module, which you know, I said I intentionally left that out. I left that out of my my kit modules my kit modules videos, because of the fact that I knew how overpowered it was. I do have one. I just didn't want to put it out there because I was like, there's no way they're going to let this slide. There's just no way they're going to. When you can, when that kit module base can do like, what, 15k damage on a ground map by itself, I was like, there's no way they're going to keep it around. So I kept that out intentionally to see if there was any nerfs on the horizon. I think that's pretty much all but confirmed now, especially with Jeremy today saying like the only thing that would get nerfed at this current time would be that kit module. So I think we can expect to see that here real soon. Otherwise, yeah, everything else sounded pretty good. Like I said, then we did hang out in Spencer's stream today. That was a lot of fun watching him play around with the Damocles. I personally don't have a reason to get the ship other than, of course, for kit bashing purposes. But as y'all know, I definitely prefer science boats and torp boats over beam boats of any kind. But the Damocles does have very nice seating. I do like the way it flies, and of course the kit bashing is nice. So it'll just be one of those like commodity ships that I pick up for sure. And especially watching Spencer play around with it, I was like, yeah, I could definitely skip this one myself, but it doesn't mean everybody. See, that's where I got that odd dilithium, because I'm just sitting here right now and I just got 360 for just sitting here. So that's what it was on the recruit character. You have to collect all of the Pokemon. Hey, that's fair too. Like, if that's what you want to do, by all means. Like, yeah, the Damocles is, like I said, I like the bridge layout of the officer seat. I like any ships. Like, listen, my personal opinion is I think most of these ships should be mostly universal seating. Maybe with one or two that don't, but like, I honestly am kind of getting a little tired of dedicated bridge officer seating. Like, as much as I love the noble here, I hate the fact that it's 2 dedicated tactical, an engineer, and a science, and then 1 universal, right? I like when there's more ships that are more universal seating. It gives us more options to kind of build that ship around, right? So if this was a lieutenant universal commander station, that means I could put another engineer here or another science officer here. So yeah. Ponerman says, I've said many times before that Space Barbie, everybody knows that Space Barbie's the ultimate end game. I've actually been doing a lot of Space Barbie on the main account, mainly because, like, we're all just in that waiting phase right now. I'm not gonna lie to you all, I don't like to sugarcoat nothing, but for the last little bit up until the next event, and this is kind of how STO does pan out for especially those of you that are new, right? So if you are new to the game, it's a lot of excitement at first. Kind of like Bob's journey on here was a lot of excitement at first. But then it gets stale a little bit when you are just doing nothing but kind of your daily stuff. You log in, you do your reputations, you do your duty officers, you do your admiralties. And at that point, it's like, okay, cool. I can go build a ship, and I can build a ship to my heart's desire and run ISE 20,000 times and get a bunch of, readings on my combat parser, or I can just, go and fly it around willy-nilly, where you just kind of just wait for the next event. And that, I don't know how I feel about that aspect. Sometimes I think it's a good thing, especially for, in my case, like my playtime and what I allow myself to play is good, where it's like, okay, I get 4 hours this night, 4 hours this night, and then like a little bit here and there because I'm busy throughout the week. So that's great. But I sometimes wonder for the overall gamer, like who's looking at this game, like, I want to play this game as my continuous play. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of time is like you're sitting around in social settings and you're just kind of waiting to go, I wonder if that will work. I'm going to build this today. Okay, cool. That works great. Now, yeah. I haven't maxed out everything yet. I need some R&D officer for assistance. I think I got a bunch of R&D officers. You let me know what you need. I can send you whatever if you need it, Donberg. You've helped me out quite a bit, so or at least over here. So let me know. And that's the thing, right? It's like you just slot stuff at this point. You're playing the slot up game. I did this multiple accounts too, right? So this is now we're kind of here on the free to play version, right? So let's just break this down. Bob is basically running admiralties, right, to get, at least some of these, but he's doing it with a very limited ship roster. Granted, he has all the free to play ships that he can possibly get until these become rank 10, and then once these are rank 10, he'll get 4 more, which is great. So it's just basically I'm running these. All right, now I'm running duty officer assignments, which I need to actually slot up right now. It's a good thing we're here. So we're running duty officer assignments, trying to get our overview of duty officers up to rank 4. Most of them are rank 2. There's a rank 3 here. So, like, again, it's just you log in, you do the daily, slot everything up for hours at a time, and then you pick an event to run, or you pick a TFO to run, because everything's time gated. Everything in this game is time gated, right? You got 20 hours for R&D stuff, right? So all these, you have 20 hours on those. These are depending on which ones you do, like Tour Galaxy right here is 20 hours. So it's just one of those weird game situations where it's like it fits the general play style. What I would wish is this game would have is a little bit more of a content flow, kind of like I don't know. I feel like the power creep in this game is so high. We do need something more challenging to the game, and I've suggested this before, and I got slaughtered for it. So I tread carefully when I bring it up. But I would like to see a raid system in here, or something to that effect. Something that gives players a means to like chase stuff, and gives players a means to like continuously log in. Like, I want challenging content. I don't, as much as I love watching my ships like blow up everything and have fun with all the power creep in this game, and it's like cool, blah blah blah. Sometimes like 30-second TFOs are just not fun. And I'm not saying like you should slow down the content to make it fun. What I'm saying is like we need challenging content that allows for our power creep builds to participate in. And I think the only way you can do that in an MMO, which has seemed to have proven true as far as like World of Warcraft, Destiny, Ultima Online, Eve, Dark Age of Camelot, like all these other MMOs have done that this one doesn't do. And I don't know if Neverwinter does it either. But that's raids. Like, you got to have something. You got to have something that kind of gives players a reasons to keep going, and not just like, here's the new ship, buy it, go fly it, enjoy it for 30 seconds and have some fun. You can see the original devs wanted something more: side healing, NG tanks, and tac DPS for, yeah. And that's the thing. The game was set up originally around the Holy Trinity system, which is really weird to me how it got abandoned and then basically became everybody can do everybody's job the same for the most part within what, a 10% difference or something like that. So basically, I mean, we see it here all the time on stream, right? I know some of you, especially I think Joshua McCurry and I want to say it's Don Brick, but I could be wrong. But like, I swear I see you engineers out there topping TAC DPS boards, and I think it's only within like a 10% margin, right? Like, and I've seen even on Spencer streams or high-end DPS chasers, they go out there and y'all are hitting like wild numbers. I mean, like, it's great to see. I love it, but it's just sitting there going, well, that just changed the entire dynamic of what this game is, because it's like everything is exactly like you said. Now everything is just DPS. It's just DPS all day and have fun. You know, and like, maybe that's okay. I don't know. I don't know if that's like, I don't know how I feel about like an MMO that wants to be different and go so far different from traditional MMO sources that it loses the identity of an MMO, because that's kind of what STO is. Now, STO is an MMO in the aspect of like, you can play with other people, you can do instance content with other people. Like in other games, they call it dungeons, or they call it, you know, trials or something like that. You can do that stuff in here, but in small 5-man groups. They used to have a 10-man crystalline entity that I don't think came back, right? It's only 5-man. Even the new one, the advanced and elite version, are still 5-man, I'm pretty sure. So I haven't got to play it today, but either way, I'm just saying, like, it's really odd. I think the game could definitely do it, and I'm wondering if there's something kind of hidden in the background. And I am a little bit of a skeptic when it comes to stuff like this, but they just reopened Triple Test server after it being gone for several years. And then they called it a stress test. And then they put 35 of us on a map in DS9 per instance. I was there for it. I had a lot of fun doing it. But 35 of us on a map in DS9. We're killing Borg. And we're just killing Borg left and right. Right? And I kind of sat there and thought about it. I was like, why? So the game can support 35 players on one map. Granted, it's a small map. It's a contained map. And yet, it can play. So you can't tell me that you can't do a fraction of that for quote-unquote raids. You can't bring in a 10-man raid, even a 15-man raid. Like, what did World of Warcraft have back in the day? I don't know if they still do raids. I haven't played it in years, but did they have like 20 or 30 man raids? Wasn't that a big thing back in Wrath of the Lich King or something to that effect? But what I'm saying is, Dribble test server showed that it can support that. It did it. It did it just fine. The only thing that was causing any kind of issues was the amount of pets on the map and like enemies were disappearing. That was funny as hell. But it did show that. And I kind of wonder if there's a purpose for that. Like, look, developers will tell you to a certain degree what they're working on. They'll give you little hints here and there, but they won't show all their cards. Why would they? Because then at that point, if something doesn't pan out, you don't know what it is, and therefore it's fine. Anybody who's done any kind of game developing will know you don't just tell everybody like, hey, this is what I'm doing, look forward to this, right? You don't ship anything out until it's pretty much packaged, debugged, and ready to go. And I do know this from a game development standpoint of view. So yeah. Regular dungeons are 5-man, 10-man raids and 25 is the big one on release classic. Yeah, so okay, that's what I mean. Yeah, so if the system, if the framework is there, just like it is here on STO, the framework is there. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibilities they can do it. I just don't know what it's going to take to do it, right? The framework's already there. The maps support up to 35 players. We can fight with 35 players on a map, and we've seen it. And we've seen it multiple times over these little DS9 events and stuff, right? So I'm just going to join this real quick. Anyways, we've seen this happen. And it kind of makes me wonder why now? Do you guys... I think something is going to come to this game. I just don't know when and how long and what it's going to take. But I think this the feedback's been heard by many players that we need something more. We need something more powerful. We need something more group demanding, right? The ship's power levels, the power creeps, they've kind of wrote themselves in a corner with this one. It's gone so far above and beyond, like you can't really back out of it at this point. You can't, unless you want to nerf the entire game somehow. Then at that point you're probably gonna really lose your player base. So I think if you are going to do something, you need to go big or go home kind of deal. And I feel like STO's in that perfect place to do that right now. They're making all the right moves. Now is the time that they start like teasing, hey, maybe we can start firing off some new content, test it. And I think that's what they're doing. I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think that's exactly, it wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow with the, them saying, okay, we've had success with this and that, and now we're going to try this. We're going to try a little small man map combo situation. Oh my God, Bob's going to die. We're going to try a little small man combo map situation, see how you all like it. And it may be a precursor to something else bigger on the horizon. But I feel like that's where they're at, because they are testing new things. We're going to test the summer event with the dilithium options instead of Lobi options, right? So we're going to test that. And if they're doing that, if they're already in the realm of like testing new possibilities, there's no realm outside of this game that they're going to say, well, we can't try this. You know what I mean? Like, they can definitely try it, and we'll see what happens. There are a lot of corners they are painted. Imagine if they have raids in the outcry to fix Endeavors. Well, we do know there's something coming from Endeavors. Actually, I did get something answered by Kill on last week's stream about Endeavors, and there is something coming to Endeavors. We don't know 100% what it is, but there is a new option going to be presented to us when they can talk about it. We just don't know what it is, but hopefully it's not anything like, I don't know. What it should be. I still think a catch-up mechanic should be introduced to the game. You want to get rid of some dilithium? Introduce catch-up mechanics or something with some dilithium, right? That would be... I think that'd be a decent way to do it. Okay, so we got that knocked out of the way. Which one marks do we need? Competitive. Let's grab some competitive. There we go. All right, there we go. One daily progress done with that one. Now is the time to release a T7. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you think we're at a point of T7? Or do we just keep doing the T6X system? I mean, like, what we ought to do is put together like a comprehensive list of like the things we want to see come to the game, and see, then like come back and revisit and see which ones actually like check off when it happens, because that would be very wild to see. If we, like, we should do a predictions list and just see what does come to the game, and then when it comes back to the game, we can just be like, yeah, you know what, so and so called this, you know, because that'd be kind of neat to see. I would love to see a bunch of stuff come to this game, even though, you know, they've had 16 years to do a lot of this stuff, but they've had a shaky road in 16 years, right? So but do you think we're at a point now? I mean, look, Bob's not even in a T5 or a T6X at all, so he still has to go X2, right? So, an Endeavor reroll token is like 4K. I have to imagine a single point would be 15K. Yeah, something like that would be great. Or, you know, you could even go up to 25K dilithium per point. You know, it wouldn't set back a new player all that far, right? Because you think about it, they get 8K a day, right, on their one character. You can make multiple characters, get more dilithium, but you're already doing your endeavors a day, which now Bob is at 25. But so you do your endeavors a day, and you get your, as a free to play with no KDF recruit, I think you get 12,000 a day. Like, this one's 8,000, this one's 3,000, and what is this one, like 400 or something like that? So I don't know, let's just say 12,000 a day, right? And basically you get an endeavor rank every 2 days. No, it goes back to back one day, so you get them 1-1, then a day off, and then 1, and a day off, and then 1-1. I think that's how it goes, something like that. I've done the math before, it's just been a minute since it's been done. But point being is, if you did your endeavors regularly, you took some of this dilithium, right? And then you would go, let me buy a perk point. Let me pull this stuff off the exchange. You can maybe even increase the price. I don't know, but it'd be neat to see something to that effect, because like Bob has no chance in hell at catching any of the veteran players' endeavor ranks whatsoever. Like, it will never happen, because by the time you got to 1250, you know they're going to raise the cap again. You know they're going to do it again. They've done it 4 times, right, since the Endeavor system came out. Then it started off at 300, went to 450, then it went to 600, then it went to 750, and now it's at 1250. So they've done it 5 times since it came out. So by the time Bob even starts to get close to 1250, they're going to release more, and it's just going to be impossible. It'll be impossible for Bob to catch up. So they need to do something. They need to add a way to not put players behind. And I've heard this sentiment before, and again, this is not to... Oops, I didn't mean to hit that mic. Sorry, that was really loud, I'm sure. This is not... how do I word this carefully? I don't want to... I'm not trying to not trying to sugarcoat it. What I'm trying to do is not say the thing that could be taken out of context. I guess the only way to say it is, this is not to shit on any other streamers or anybody else in the community that says this sentiment. And I hear this a lot, where they say, oh, endeavors only are like 10% of your build, and they don't really mean that much. And the problem with that sentiment is while they're not entirely wrong that a good build will perform at a low endeavor rank, I feel like they are absolutely wrong in the aspect that it doesn't really matter much. And I think they don't look at it from, one, how much like armor pen, how much crit severity you gain, how much critical chance you gain, how much energy weapon damage you gain, how much stuff you gain overall to that build. That's basically the essential of putting on like 2 to 3 additional consoles on a ship itself, right? If you really want to break it down, if you want to break down the Endeavor system in a nutshell, it's literally like, okay, think about what energy weapon damage in space. Okay, each one of these is 2%, and I believe this gets up to 25%, if I remember correctly. If you were going to like up this to 25% itself, that would require one. Actually, I don't even know if I have a 25% console on Bob. I don't think so. Well, I mean, technically, yeah, we can go with an isomag, right? Like, we go something like that. So that's like almost an isomat console, right? But I'm talking about like a universal console. Well, there you go. Like Prior Worlds Elite Defense, which that's an event console. But anyways, this is something, right? 11.4% direct energy damage. And Endeavor itself clears that right there. It clears that. Okay. So like that's what I'm getting at is like when people dismiss the Endeavor system, they say, oh, it's not that important. I think it's because they're already at a point where their endeavors don't really matter because they've already maxed out the good stuff, right? Hey, Rebert. Hey, good to see you. How are you? I know I did see somebody over on Twitch, but yeah, that 10 consoles. Yeah, and that's why I said it's like I don't ever want to dismiss a system in the game, and I think you all are correct, especially when you say like if they did introduce something big and the people like Bob right here would probably never be able to participate in that situation unless of course they had a way to catch up with the endeavors. So if you're ever listening to somebody who says, oh, the endeavor system does not matter all that much, and or it's only like 10% of the equation and everything else is 90%, shrug off that dismissal, because it's a terrible outlook to have. It really is. You shouldn't dismiss that, because there's things again that are just wildly high in this game that again, look at your whole regen rate, right? That's another one. So they write it off as Cat 1, which has nothing to do with crit severity, resist, iron pin, on and on. Exactly it. Yeah, and that's exactly it. The Endeavor needs updating, more reward XP or something, because it's slow if you're new or returning. Exactly. That is a very good point there. And that's what I said. It's like, I'm hoping that with what Kel had answered my question was, and I brought this up for this exact reason, because we knew when we made this free-to-play account for Bob, we knew the Endeavors were going to be the biggest issue as far as becoming elite ready. I can build Bob. Builds are easy to come across, whether I build it myself or I copy somebody else's build. Building is absolutely nothing. Piloting is a secondary thing. Learning to pilot a map, piloting, positioning, everything else, knowing when to get out of red is another thing entirely. That helps with your build synergy. But that's all stuff that can be obtained and learned. Endeavors cannot be caught up. You cannot catch this up whatsoever. You have to do this every single day. And you're just kind of at the whim of when you started playing the game, right? And for Bob, this is 7 weeks in. This is 7 weeks in on this account. And one of my PC accounts that had been sitting there for a good portion of 10 years is really low on endeavors because of the fact that I didn't do endeavors on there. My console accounts, I think they're at like 750 on their endeavors, and they've been pretty consistent for the most part, but I haven't done them past 750 because they raised the cap and I stopped playing on console. So this is what I'm getting at. Like, you're at the mercy with the Endeavor system to just make sure you're on top of it every day. And if you take a break, you suffer from it, because then when you come back to the game, as what's being said, you come back to the game, you have no catch up. You have nothing. Yeah. So that's what I was just talking about there. Maybe I'm saying your name wrong. You gotta let me know how I pronounce it. I'm just gonna call you Saberfang if that's okay, because I'm very terrible. As we said, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Everybody knows this. I do it intentionally in my videos, but I really am bad at it. But that's exactly what I mean. I did the math on it. It's like 12,000 points a day, and some days you can double up. Right, so some days you can go like right here, like tomorrow we'll hit rank 26 because we finished our endeavors today. So tomorrow we'll hit 26 with the 12,000 that we get. But the following day, because the drop off here is at like 2,000 and it's like right where my mouse is, the following day it becomes, you gotta do your 12,000. It's gonna sit there, so you don't get a point there. Then you do it another day and you don't get another point there because it's gonna get real close to here, but it's not gonna happen. And then the third day you'll get that point. So it is like you get 2 days on, 2 days back to back, and then it's like 2 days off or something to that effect. It's a weird situation. Yeah, 12K plus your universal if it's a good one. Exactly. For a guy that's seen this TNG 40 times for the whole series, I never knew this game existed until 3 years ago. Yeah, that's the thing. What was funny to me is this game was poorly marketed early on, and you would think with CBS and Atari at the time, who licensed and created and developed this game, you would have thought this thing would have been pushed out there like majorly, but it wasn't. And the only reason that I came into this game right at the end of their subscription model when it transitioned to free to play is because I started seeing the marketing of it. We were doing Wrath of the Lich King and whatnot, right? That's when it came out, was around that time. So we were still doing Wrath of the Lich King, and I was like, oh, there's a Star Trek game. There's a Star Trek MMO. I'm kind of over this whole beating Arthas for like the 1,000th time and like never getting Invincible or whatever. I did eventually get him, but what I'm saying is like it was like I was looking for a new game to play, and I barely had seen anything about this, but I had done it 2 years into its life cycle. So then I started 14 years ago. So I didn't even get to start at the very, very, very beginning of this game, but I did start at the time where they, were pulling in the KDF faction that got to like only PvP and stuff like that. And then I got to enjoy the subscription model for like 6 months, and yeah, it was a bad time. It was a really bad time. But then they transitioned to free to play, and that was a nightmare. That was a huge nightmare. But yeah, for those of you who have joined here in the late 2010s, like 2019, 2020 onward, you're getting to see the best version of STO right now. Because this game has gone through so many shakeups. What I want to do, and I'm sure you can find them online. I gotta see if I can pull up any of my old OneDrive files that I've linked to my previous hard drives. I may have some screenshots of old or Space Dock and old DS9. I think I have a couple of. I might have a video too on there. I gotta find it. I still miss Foundry. Yep, I missed that too. I do have the Botany Bay, which only those of you who created Foundry story missions will have, which kind of sucks because that's an item that you won't be able to get. But anyways, unless they bring the Foundry back, that'd be great. But yeah, that was another thing too, man. We used to write stories, and it was so good. Like, some of the stories were so good. They were so much better written than an actual like episode of Star Trek Discovery or something. Like, honestly, it was. And then some of it was like how you could farm a bunch of like stupid stuff, because they didn't have the Endeavor system back then, right? Like, that wasn't a thing. What the Endeavors is probably about 6 years old now, maybe 7 years old, 6, 7. Anyways, it might be that old now. That being said, back when the Foundry was a deal, you did have like daily, what was it, like daily marks and stuff that you could get, and you could get like extra reputation marks, or you could get like, what was the other system they had? But anyways, you could do Foundry missions for them. Oh, and accolades, right? That was like the best way to farm accolades. Hey, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate that, Saberfang. I do appreciate that. The old R&D at Planet. Oh, yeah. See, now I'm just like looking at this game through rose-tinted glasses, and we've already been live for an hour, and we've only done one thing, but that's fine. I don't care. Like I said, tonight is just kind of a chill night because we don't have anything really to do. Like, if y'all want to do something, we can. I'm fine with that. I'm just saying we don't really have anything to do, and that's the unfortunate part about where we're at in Bob's journey right now. Is just we're just kind of building. We're just building. I mean, like, I could go farm more EC. That's not an issue. I can make some more. Actually, I think I might have some more. I need to go list on the exchange. Nope, I only have 3 exceeded rated limits left. I'm actually kind of being a little frugal right now with crafting data pads, because for those who know and those who don't know, I'm going to tell you why I'm being a little bit frugal. It costs dilithium. It costs dilithium to make data pads. Slimo. Ooh, Slimo. Is it Slimo or Slimo? Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome. We're kind of just hanging out tonight here on STO. We're just kind of reminiscing on the past a little bit. But anyways, yeah, every pad costs a little bit of dilithium. So It's Slimo. Okay, got it. Perfect. Well, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. What were you streaming? Were you streaming STO as well? And thanks for coming over. For those of you that are joining us and you're new here, I'm Captain Spicy Pants. I've been a veteran of this game for 14 years, off and on. And this is our free-to-play kind of new player experience. So we started this character as a means of going back to the past, kind of trying to see what a new player experience is in this game. So, did I remember to go get the Sally ride from the Naranja system? Of course I did. I've got it on like multiple characters, but yes, I did. Thank you, Eric Hawk. I did get it. Actually, we do. I think it's already out right now on a mission. It is. Sally ride's right there. But yes. The Deridex. I love it. Ooh, Romulan. See, I love it. Nice. Very nice. And you know, over here, again, if you're new, you're coming in, you're not sure what we're about. We were just that one old school player that looks at this game and loves this game, loves Star Trek, loves it for what it is. But a lot has changed over 16 years. And some of the times we're talking about the past and we're talking about the future, kind of talking about what's going on ahead of us and hopefully for the better. But we are building a character who is doing the free-to-play route because I've got a premium account like most people do, and I've got multiple premium accounts, unfortunately. It's besides the point. Look, I had an addiction back in the day. Okay, but anyways, and now I just want to kind of know what a free-to-play player experience is because I've forgotten what it's like to be a free-to-play player and how long it takes to do certain things. So we kind of are using that as going back to seeing what happens when you don't just whip out the credit card, when you don't just sit there and go, well, hell, I got an extra $5. Let me just buy. Perfect example of what we're talking about tonight. You know, listen, times are getting a little bit tougher, and I get it. I'm not knocking nobody out there in the world, but you know, $5 for an energy credit cap increase. Do I think it's silly? Yes, but crypto's got to make their money somehow, and it is $5. It's no different than going out and buying a coffee, right? Okay, you can go buy your coffee, or you can buy your energy credit cap increase. But a free-to-play player who might be, times are rough, man. They might not be able to even afford $5 because they put that last $5 for food on their kids, you know, plate that night or something like that. So I understand the sentiment. We gotta build up, you know, dilithium. And we got to put it on the exchange and get that $5. So yeah. Nasharu, hello. Been unintentionally combining your handle with your channel name. Lord Spicy Pants has a. I do like that. I like that a lot. It is a boat of a ship. Cruisers be like that. Yes, and you know what? The Deridex is still a fun ship to fly. I actually have one on Bob here, but let's see, what do we got over here? Would be better if the dilithium is in store worked. It would be. I understand that it's backlogged for time, you know. I'm hoping the dilithium sinks that they have in mind are gonna work. I really do, especially with buying out the summer event. For those that don't know, that if you haven't seen the news today, if you didn't watch the stream today, I'll just kind of go over this point again. The new summer event ship this year will be bought out with dilithium, not Lobi. So, or Lobi, or however you want to pronounce it. Just saying, it won't be bought out with that currency. So don't worry about that. Hey, look at who's flying in. Oh, it's a crossfield. I see you, Joshua. I see you in chat, and I see you right there. That is, I love the crossfield. I just love science ships. It's beautiful. Every time I start a free-to-play experiment, I buckle and buy stuff. Well, that's kind of the thing, right? I think I've gotten to a point because I will admit, same thing, Eric. I have the reason I have multiple accounts, and over the course of time was because like I guess I would kind of want to challenge myself from time to time where I'd be like, let me do an account that just does this. Let me do this that does this. And then I'd get to a point and I get frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go buy this. And that's kind of what I did. I made those mistakes. So the whole thing with Bob here was like kind of to keep myself humble and keep myself from like getting frustrated and being like, I'm just gonna go buy this EC cap unlock. keep myself accountable, and doing it on stream and doing it through YouTube definitely does that, right? Like it definitely keeps me accountable, so I can sit there and go, hey guys, like look, I've only I've only got 11 million EC, which we do have I think 13 or 14 million in the bank, the account bank, but yeah, I don't even have the EC cap, right? So like it does keep me accountable in that aspect, because I do understand that this game can trap you. It can trap you in a heartbeat. Because you might be sitting there and you might go, I really could just use this EC cap increase. Like I'm tired of waiting, and it's only $5. And then you start justifying it to yourself. You really do. You start sitting there and you go, it's only $5. My girlfriend, she goes and buys her $5 freaking lemonades 3 times a day. I mean, like what's $5 for me to go and unlock an EC cap, right? Like I think that's fair. I could do that. She just said, wow. She's behind me. Well, she's in the other room behind me, but she heard me. I called her out. But I'm just saying, if she can do it, then I start to make justifications that I can do it, right? Slimo, thank you for that follow. I did see that. I appreciate it. I enjoyed the discussion on these streams. I remember when crew size factored in on hull healing and only one buff ability per rank could be changed. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm glad you brought that up, Nisharu. I forgot about that. Do y'all remember back in the day that your crew size actually mattered? Well, for those old school players, when did they change that? So back in the day, under your stats here, your hull healing rate, wherever that's at, your hull repair rate, also had a crew modifier. And if you killed off your crew, because like let's say you were doing it couldn't have been too long ago, because if I remember correctly, was it one of the command abilities, right, was draining your life support? The reroute from life support would kill your crew off. So it couldn't have been too long ago that they killed this off, because I think command abilities were in the game. Anyways, if you killed off your crewmates, your repair rate went down. And it was such a cool little thing. But I understand why they got rid of it, because like your crew could just die all the time. So yeah, the jokes of how quickly your crew site replenishes. So yeah, exactly. They killed off crew when they killed off self-destruct. Yeah, so I think it probably is that the Lexington. It is the Lexington. I came from a generation where PC games were $39.99. End of story. Today things are way insane, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I think a lot of us here on this channel, and I think STO's player base in general for the most part, because, and I'm not saying this, if you are young and into Star Trek, hey, I'm very, very happy for you. No better time to be into Star Trek than now, especially because like Star Trek has a library of stuff that you can watch, and Paramount's not really doing anything with Star Trek right now. It's kind of, the future's uncertain, so now is like the perfect time to get into it, because then you can just watch seasons in full and be like, cool, I don't have to catch up to this or that. Or you can watch all the movies in full and not worry about the next movie that comes out. And STO is like the perfect game to get into it. But I think the general generation of Star Trek fans, I would say they're from what do you want to say, your Gen Xers all the way down to I guess my groups, millennials, right? So you're looking at the age group of people in their 60s, maybe even late 70s, all the way down to their early 30s. But again, like if you are younger than 30 years old and you're into Star Trek, like hell yeah, good on you. Like it's a great thing to be into. But I think that being said, the whole point of the reason why I brought that up is I think everybody's used to the fact that PC games or video games themselves used to be $40, and what you bought was what you got, right? That was it. That's how it shipped. That's how you got it. And that leads into a discussion of, did live services, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it going to ruin the future of gaming? Are we just now indoctrinated to like, this is how it is and this is how it's gonna be? Is there a change on the horizon? Who knows? I don't know. But the kill off crew, or sorry, your TNG, Voyager, and Enterprise. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the beauty of this, like Star Trek as a whole, because as unpopular as it is, and I've told people this multiple times here on stream and whatever, of all the Star Treks out there, and I mean, I love Star Trek as a whole. I think my favorite movie is always going to be First Contact, right? It just will be for me. And I grew up, you know, in the 80s and 90s through all of those Star Treks. But for me, there was something special about First Contact, the Sovereign first showing up on screen. It's just a movie that sticks with me when it comes to Star Trek. But that being said, my favorite Enterprise is the Kelvin Timeline Enterprise. And I know that's like the most taboo thing you can say, but I love it. I love it because I'm also a car person. I love vehicles and I love that hot rod look. So for them to actually bring that to the screen, and it did have that sleek kind of like, oh, this is like the hot rod Enterprise. Oh, I absolutely love it. So while again, as controversial as that might be, that's the beauty of Star Trek. You can like anything from any timeline of Star Trek, or you can like anything and you're still a fan of Star Trek. Star Trek is just that special. And I think Star Trek, in a way, as you all can see over here to my that way, so that would be to my left. Oh my gosh, my brain doesn't want to brain. I do have a Vader helmet right there. I'm a big fan of Star Wars as well. So it's not like I don't like both franchises, but the problem is that I find sometimes, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but the Star Wars community versus the Star Trek community, I feel like Star Trek is more close-knit, more passionate about stuff, whereas the Star Wars community loves to fight within themselves. And I'm not a very confrontational person in that aspect. I don't care. Like what you like what makes you happy. I don't care if you like new Star Wars, old Star Wars. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect me. But I just don't like that kind of negativity in that aspect. So I tend to not involve myself as much into Star Wars type content, so to speak. But Star Trek, everybody knows Star Trek. So you like the Strange New World Enterprise? I do like that design too. I like it a lot. I think it's kind of neat. I think it's a neat updated version. I feel like it mixes a little bit of Kelvin and a little bit of the classic, just to the right degree. So I mean, it's kind of neat looking. Watch the fun series on YouTube of a guy 3D printed up Horse 99 GT3 body onto a Boxster. I kind of want to see that now. That's interesting. It looks crazy. I like her, and that's what I mean. It's like I'm a big so, you know, like it or love it. I don't know if I have a picture of it on my computer. Let me see if I do. I mean, I would think I do because I'm a little bit obsessed with it, but I don't know if I do or don't. They're all usually on my phone. Did I save a picture of my? So I'm also a Jeep guy. Like I just, you know, I'm prior military. Jeeps are kind of my thing. And it's not that I'm not one of those. I'm also not one of those dashboard Jeep duck people. That to me, I don't understand that whole thing. I like trailing in my Jeep. I don't want ducks hitting me in the face while I'm trailing. So anyways, I'm not that Jeep person, but I do have a Jeep. And yeah, surprisingly, I don't have one. Let me save one to my computer. I'll show you guys what I drive. I love my stuff. You know, I appreciate art as a whole. And it's kind of funny because we had that debate earlier on Spencer's stream about AI usage. That was fun. Like it or love it, it happens. They said the horse would never replace the car, and here we are. Or the car would never replace the horse, but here we are. It's a bad analogy, but it's true. I'm gonna pull up this. No, I'm not. Computer does not want to work with me tonight. It just wants to fight with me. There we go. Yeah, the disc price. I actually see it. I've got my monitor set up, but I do see it. It looks. I love it. I like. Again, like at the end of the day, I think I just love the Constitution as a whole. I mean, who doesn't? It's iconic, right? But do I remember my stuff to get into here? I don't know. I'm sad I missed the horse days. Yeah. The Typhon ship with the open top nacelles. Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna be. I gotta move it from my phone. I don't ever move because my computer is my work. You know, I put everything on here is all stream and work related stuff, so I don't have any of my like good stuff. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's not here nor there. I'll make sure I pull it up another time and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's a clean. I love this. I mean, like I said, let me see. Oops, I got my keybinds all wrong here. I mean, like to me, it's a clean ship. It's really is clean, and I like the way like I said, they kind of combined a little bit. They combined a little bit of I'm going backwards here. Anyways, I like how they combined a little bit of the like the Kelvin aesthetic to it, but they kept, well, I guess the disco aesthetic, but like they kept the original series look to it, and I think that's what like makes it stand out a lot. And it's pretty. Let me put my render scale up some so we can like really. And let me change. Oops. Let's put it up to 2. There we go. And then let me change my free camera on here so it's not snapping everywhere. Controls, which by the way, you know, you guys can there we go, free camera. Okay. There we go. So I don't have it snapping back and forth. And then let's remove our UI, and there we go. Let's take a look at this beautiful ships one by one. I just love it. I really do. I love Constitutions. I love it. I try to stop and even go, and I end up crashing into stuff. I do that so much. Well, so my problem is I have different keybinds set for different characters or different accounts. So sometimes, like for instance, I don't typically on here, because when I'm streaming with y'all, I don't have a lot of like I talk with my hands a lot, as y'all know, but I do talk with my hands a lot. But on top of it, I will be focused on the chat, so I'm not using like Q and E and whatnot to adjust my speed levels like this, right? So what I do is I bind my warp to, or my my impulse engines to my mouse wheel, so when I scroll up and down, it's only for this account that I do that on. On my other account, my mouse wheel is to zoom in and out, and that's because most of the time I'm not on stream with that account, and so it makes sense for me to do it that way. Strange New Worlds captured the franchise record on every girl's. yeah, no, I mean, like you know, again, like it or not, you know, whether you like Strange New Worlds or whatever, because I know there's people that are divisive on whatever show is out there and whatnot, but I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait to see. The thing that I hate though is that they're wrapping up Strange New Worlds with season 4, which means they're gonna have to do like a huge time jump or something. I'm not really sure how they're going to do it, because like it's got to go from Pike to Kirk, which is exactly what's supposed to happen in the canon of Star Trek anyways. But like even the showrunner said that the show was going to end with Kirk in the seat of the Enterprise. But in order for them to do that where they're at right now in the show, it's really weird. I don't know how they're going to do it. So I don't know if they're just going to, I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm curious to see. But it's pretty, and there's, I mean, like, I would love, what I want to do is one of these days get with a bunch of y'all. We'll meet up somewhere. I want to get a picture of just like all the different Enterprise type variants, right? So if somebody's got the Enterprise J, the G, obviously we have the Noble, so we can fill in for the Sovereign class, or we can just jump on our main account, which I could just jump into Lamar. But anyways, then, you know, we'll go all the way down the list, DC, BA, and just get a screenshot of all of them like together, just because like it's so iconic. It really is. Battle Shield on the Strange New World ship. Is that the one that's on there right now? I can't really. No, this is just itself, right? Or are you saying to put that one on there? My theory is the franchise went into decline when they departed from the current 24th century thing, and it went back until Picard. It's possible. I feel like they started to really kind of shoot themselves in the foot with the way they ended Enterprise, right? Because can we all say objectively, like, Enterprise was really good the first 2 seasons, 3 the most, like, say it was really good until, like, they rushed that ending of the season 4, and then, like, that was it. Like, I honestly want to say, like, Enterprise is probably my favorite of the Star Trek shows up to a certain degree. Although I will say the whole Suliban War thing dragged on quite a bit, but yes. Oh, please don't do that, Ponderman. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, like that's exactly what I mean. It's like that. I loved Enterprise. I really did. And I feel like that's probably where the franchise started to shoot itself in the foot, is the way that they rushed that ending to get on to quote unquote new Trek. Because, like, and I say new Trek because that's what, it was commonly referred to, or JJ Trek, or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. But, like, once that happened, like, I hated that because it was just like, you could tell the shift happened. Jolene Blaylock. okay, T'Pol. Yeah, no, she was fantastic though, and then she reprised her role as a voice actress in Lower Decks, which I thought was kind of cool. She hasn't aged too bad at all. Like, to be honest, she's done very well for herself. So, but yeah. I always say the whole of the Star Trek universe is just Will Riker's holonovel because he's in most of the series and has so many. That's, there's so many memes about Will Riker, right? Like, about. I mean, and you're probably not wrong to think of it in the headcanon lore of that being the case. Like, ever since TNG onwards. Yeah, I think Jonathan Frakes has had his hand in every single Star Trek one way or another, whether he's directing episodes, whether he's a part of episodes, whether he's mentioned in episodes. You're absolutely right. I think Will Riker has more screen presence than even Picard himself. I could be wrong. I'd like to know if somebody's done an analysis or breakdown of that. Is Will Riker on screen as a whole, not talking about the Picard series, because obviously the Picard series is, hey, look at that, it's the Enterprise. Oh, it's the NX refit. She loves Star Trek. It's one of the reasons she didn't like the show. She felt like she was just there to be eye candy. Yeah. Oh, that's fair. It is fair. Would have been nice if he got his own series on the Titan. Fun fact, Michael Dorn has the franchise record for most appearances on total shows. No kidding. Michael, really? Worf, well, no, you know what? I think you're absolutely right. I do believe that, because not only has she's shown up as a variant of Worf in the movies, in different movies. Especially in Undiscovered Country, right? And then he's shown up in. Oh, now I gotta think about it. So he's got TNG, DS9. Is he in Voyager? He might have been in Voyager. I gotta think about that. I know he wasn't in Enterprise. He's been mentioned by name, I think, in Enterprise at the end there with Deanna and Riker, but I could be wrong. He was definitely in Picard. He was a main character in Picard. So he wasn't in Voyager. Has he made a cartoon appearance in Lower Decks yet? I know Riker has, and I know Troy had. Deanna has, but has he? I don't know if he has. Maybe. I don't know. I have to go back and watch Lower Decks. Everything kind of blends together at some point. And then, of course, I haven't seen any of Starfleet Academy yet, so I don't know if he's in there. But I did see Discovery. I don't believe he's in Discovery at all. that fifth season is wild compared to like any of the other seasons, though. I wish they would have done all of Discovery like fifth season Discovery. I'm not gonna lie. I think fifth season Discovery is great. Wish they would have done the whole damn show based around that. I think only Q and Barkley made it to Voyager. Yeah, no, Riker was in Voyager. That's why I was asking if Worf was in there. I don't remember if he did. What Enterprise do you want to see now? You can bring whatever Enterprise out. It don't matter to me. I just like all the ships. I mean, we can jump onto our main account and play with them too. We're just kind of chilling at the moment. So bring out whatever you want to bring out. Bring them out. We're not, like I said, we're in no rush to do anything. We're kind of just on that timer, so we can talk about whatever, hang out. Riker saved Picard from the Borg, the Sona, the Romulans. He was offered to be a Q. He was the best parts of Kirk and combined, and Picard combined. Yeah, that's true. And Riker's probably like the biggest man whore in the galaxy, right? even though, well, okay, maybe Kirk is, I don't know, but like, even though, you know, he's always had a thing for Deanna and whatnot, I swear to God, Riker was always like pimping it up all throughout the galaxy. You know, you changed the ship this morning, but I can't remember to what. I'm actually been playing around with a ship that I kind of felt like got overshadowed, and I do this every so often, so I feel like, yeah, there it is, there's a Titan. I still refuse to call this the Enterprise G. Look, I get it, it's been christened the Enterprise G. I still refuse to call it that. I just do. I mean, like, I barely refuse to call it the Titan, to be fair, but it's still, again, I think it was a cool design. I really do, but it really, yeah. You picked this as your campaign 8, yeah. Riker enjoyed his leisure time. Exactly, he definitely did. But one of the things I wanted to touch up on here real quick. Let me pull this camera back just a little bit. There we go. Because the Titan's a little bit bigger. It's a neat design. I do think it's neat. It feels like it's got a mix of everything, right? It's got a mix of the Connie, like the original. Well, I should say the Connie refit, right? The Enterprise A. You can tell a little bit of that in there. And it looks like it's got a little bit of like the Excelsior hull right here, like that kind of fat under bottom. So it's like a little bit of mix of the B there. Then you can kind of see the C portions of it back here. I feel like when they designed this ship, they took a little bit of something from everything. The warp nacelles are definitely kind of like Sovereign-esque inspired a little bit. So you can see a lot in this ship, which I think is kind of neat how they designed the G. So I thought it was kind of cool. Or the Titan, or whatever you want to call it. Which I hadn't, because I wanted the Voyager A. I think I have that one too. Marina Sirtis was a childhood crush for me. If you see her in interviews, prepare to, she is a firecracker. Well, Marina Sirtis, if I remember correctly, she's Greek, right? And I could be wrong. I think she's Greek. But yeah, she's always, I mean, she's aged very well as well. I mean, she's taking care of herself, and yeah. So the Excelsior 2. Yes, Excelsior 2 is a great ship. But all right, before I lose track here, I'm gonna tell you guys something. There are ships that are being slept on. And I think it's because we're all currently enthralled with the meta, the now, the what's out there. And I get it, I do. But I'm kind of going back and playing with older ships throughout here. And one I think got overshadowed by the Noble itself, which isn't really old at all. I think, what is the Lamar? It's like 2 years old, I think, maybe 3. No, it's only 2 years old. Not even 2 years. Not even be a year and a half old. Anyways, I think it got overshadowed by the Ark Royal, because the Ark Royal has 2 hangar bays. That being said, don't sleep on the Lamar for you science officers out there. I went back and rebuilt it with the like the Uncon meta, and it's it's putting up numbers that I'm very surprised about. Very, very surprised about. I don't know if I'm going to do a build video or anything like that on it, because oh yeah, look at that, the Excelsior.
Excellent work.
Enterprise B. I love it. I think this is my least favorite Enterprise of all time. I really do. And I know that it's kind of one of those situations where a lot of fans love it, and I understand why they do. But for me, I never liked this. It drove me nuts. It really did. I was not a fan of it. I don't know. It felt really weird going from the A to this. And then, of course, we had the Ambassador class as the C and the Galaxy class as D, which made sense. I understood it. As it evolved, it made more sense, I should say. Like I said, the Sovereign's always going to hold a special place for me. But I don't know. It's funny in the Titan novels that come back to haunt him as his wife, and two of his former lady friends were all in the same crew. See, that's the thing. I'll admit, I am a very big TV and movie person. I do not do a whole heck of a lot of reading other than reading scripts and stuff for YouTube videos, or if I have to read a SOP, or if I have to read a training manual or anything like that. That's about the extent of my reading. I will read a book once in a blue moon if it captivates me, but for the most part, I have not done a lot of the Star Trek novels or books out there, so I can honestly say I did not know about any of that stuff. I like my media consumed straight to my brain because, you know, well, to be fair, they're both technically the same, but yeah, I actually do like the Yorktown variant. Although, of course, the Odyssey is going to hold a special place in our heart too, right? Because the Odyssey was designed by STO Player, which is great. I think it's great that the Enterprise F is something that came from this game. That's the thing that's cool about this game. That's one thing I will give as much crap as this game has received over the years. And sometimes it's justified and sometimes not. One thing I will say that this game has done so good at is like mixing with actual like Star Trek media, right? Comic books, TV series, designing a ship that is now canon across the universe, which is crazy. So, I mean, like, for all the faults that STO has had over the years, hey, it's a nebula. See, now you're going up my alley. This is everybody knows now, especially if now that those that are new to stream will know this, but those who are not new, what do we got the name on this ship? Hold on. I gotta position this camera just right. Oh, there we go. The USS War Crimes. I love it. That's great. But everybody knows I am a science captain. I love science ships. I love science vessels. I build exotic builds left and right. I could do science all day long. I am a very terrible beam pilot, and I have no problem admitting that because that's just not my forte. I definitely enjoy watching players like Spencer and Stu and everybody else tackle the beam builds because it's just not something that I've ever really been able to do or play very well. So, but science boats, I understand them from the inside out. So I can tell you all day long how to do science, and I'm happy with that. That's my favorite thing. You're an engineering main. Hey, I have respect for engineering mains. Let me tell you, anybody in this game, especially if you started from the beginning of this game or anywhere early on in this game and you ran an engineer captain all the way through to what it is today, you are up here on the list of players. Do not kid yourselves. Engineers have had the shit into the stick in STO for the longest time. And then they finally are like kind of, like I said, within like 10% of all other captains, especially if you're an engineer captain of any sort with an alien, right? Because then you got that extra trait slot. But yes, now engineers can perform. But back in the day, if you were an engineer, do you remember how many times you used to be called useless if you didn't bring in a tank engineer? You know how rough that was? If you tried to bring an engineer into a TFO early on in this game, you were called useless if you were not if you were not a if you weren't an NG main, right? Oh, I'm not a meta fellow. Or, yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't really care for the meta ourselves. I know what the meta is. I know how to build meta ships. I don't care for the meta because I encourage fun. I encourage more or less like build what makes sense to you, and I can guide you along the way, but I'm not going to tell you how to build your ship. That's not my job to do, because of the fact that it's your money, it's your time and effort put on this game. I want you to build what you want to play, and then I will guide you along the way and say, look, you should consider these consoles or consider these traits or something to that effect. But I don't want to discourage people from building what makes sense to them. It's fantastic, you know. It's only a war crime the first time. The fat electrician. Small world. I just subbed this channel and binge watched all the war stories. Okay, so now I gotta go and check out another YouTuber. Sounds like that's great. I love it. Recommend me anybody. Like, YouTube is kind of like my TV now. I mean, like, I have a couple shows that my girlfriend and I watch together, and we enjoy watching them together. But like, I don't watch a whole lot of TV other than like whatever we're watching together. So if you, YouTube is my TV, which is kind of weird how it transitioned that way, right? So, I pet an EPG boat on the ship. Yes. Well, yeah, of course. The Nebula. Yeah. This is the T6 Nebula, right? Let me see. You know what my favorite thing is about these kind of streams, guys? I love the fact that I can come here and we're an hour and 40 minutes in the stream, and I haven't done a damn thing but talk to you all. And I love it. I love that so much. You have no idea how much I enjoy that. Because, yeah, listen, I could be out there doing all the cool shenanigans in this game. That's fine. I definitely can do it. But y'all make this shit fun. Y'all make this shit like worth coming on to here. I enjoy conversating with every single person in this chat. Y'all can sit here and you can tell me about whatever's out there, whatever's cool. Look at all the ships swarming me right now. But like, this is what I mean. I enjoy these streams because I work from home. So, contrary to, the belief of, hey, you're a content creator and you make all this money. I don't. But I do work from home. So like my social life outside of working from home and the streams on Monday and Tuesday, which is why I say I'm busy throughout the week, is when I get to go outside the house and like, go out to dinner, go out to the movies, go out to, whatever friends gatherings or whatnot we have. So that's like my outside world. But when I'm here at the house, like, it's pretty much, I'm either, and y'all have seen those of you who are new here probably haven't, but for those that have been here for a minute, have seen my German Shepherd, right? So you all see my dog, and it's mostly just my dog and me on the nights that I'm streaming. Tonight is a rare night. I do have my girlfriend here with me, but she's she's hanging out back there, so she's playing her game and stuff. But like most of the time, Monday and Tuesday nights, it's just me and my dog, and so it gets kind of quiet. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I've worked all day, and it's like, I need that social interaction. I need to be able to just come and talk to people, because I'm just like, man, sitting at a computer screen all day sucks. But yeah, look at that, man. I love it. I love some of the consoles and stuff in this game, or some of the abilities in here. Like, there's a lot of cool things that they have in here, even if they don't do like a whole heck of a lot of something. Like, at least visually, they're cool looking. All right. I don't know. Should we go jump on the main account for a little bit? We're not really doing anything here. We can go play over there, I think. I don't really need to run anything, right? And this event is not, it's just 5 days. How many days do we have to do this? I think it's only 5 days. I'm pretty sure it's only 5 days. Just to get the reward, right? Why doesn't it actually say what it is on here? Yeah, 5 daily progress requirements. Well, how come this one actually doesn't say how many days you need on this? Like that's kind of weird. Oh, it does right here. Ah, because I was looking at the wrong window. That's why. That's my fault. One out of 5. Yeah, okay, so we don't even have to do anything. We just kind of chill. That's what I mean. Like this game, as great as it is, it's become Space Barbie at the end, which is the end game for this game, right? But like that's all it is at this point. It's show off your ships and have fun because like honestly, there's no content. And I hate to say that. It's just the truth. You can run the same TFO 30,000 times until your eyes bleed, but there's no content. You know, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, I could go strike up content. I can go stir up a wasp nest if I really wanted to. And we might one of these nights. We won't do it here on PC, but we could do it on Xbox. We could stir up a hornet's nest one of these nights. If I told a select few people I was in Karat on Xbox, I could probably get that place popping in one night. And that's only because of one or two reasons. One, everybody wants to come kill me because of my old dirty PvP reputation of being a jerk, which deservedly so. I get it. Or they would want to come and fight with me over there. So, but we might entertain the PvP aspect one of these nights. I don't know if we're going to do it anytime soon. Let me check my Gamma Recruit real quick. I'm going to bounce off of there. I should be still sitting next to you on my Gamma Recruit, unless I change instance. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I won't go and stir the Hornet's Nest on PvP or on PC and PvP. It's just not. Yep, there you are. I see you. We're going to bring our little bug ship over here. Hey, look at that. They all came flocking over. They knew. They're almost as big as the ship itself, man. The bug ship, they're almost as big as it. That bug ship's small. Okay, let me fire off some assignments, right? Because we just want to, like I said, we're passively building this one in the background with what little that we can, because all the dilithium is being used as a meal system, so we're not really doing anything more than that. Okay, so we're gonna drop that there. Let's see, what do we have for Klingon? Man, nothing. All right, I'm gonna get specialization points. That's what we want on here. 75. That gives me 25 tack when I'm alone. That should be close to it. 90 something percent. Yeah, that'd be good. All right. This one's giving me what? 55, 55, 55? Damn. Okay. What I need another box of ships. That's what I need. Which one of these have a box of ships? They don't. No upcoming ones do. No upcoming ones do. I'm kind of painted in a corner here because like I want to do some of these. I guess I'll do this one. This one ignores plus or minus science, and then yikes. What's the percent chance? 81%. Oh, whatever. It's fine. Okay, we can only do 3 over here anyways. Those are duty officers. We have none. We need to send these off, and then we'll go jump onto the main account, and then we'll find something to do. If we don't find anything to do, maybe we'll start our new challenge that I talked about last week. And that new challenge is going to be our STO Hardcore Challenge. We might start that. I think we probably need to start that at this point. And if you don't know what the STO Hardcore Challenge is, think of Dark Souls. Think of games that punish you for dying, extremely punish you for dying, more so than the punishments that we do on stream, which we do have some. But I'm thinking we're gonna do our challenge here real soon, and that challenge is to go from 1 to 65 on a character without dying on an account that has no endeavors, no nothing. So yay, another free to play account. But anyways, if you die, you gotta delete that character and start all over. And then once you get to 65, that's not the end of it. Then you have to gear that character up and get it to at least one elite TFO being geared for that. And if you die anytime between then and there, you have to delete that character and redo it. And I want to see if it's even remotely possible to do that. And here's the thing is like, we cannot passively level the character. We cannot play the character off stream, and it can only be done on stream, because I could just go off stream, one, level the character offline and be like, I never died, and y'all would never know. Or two, I could just like, I don't know. I basically, I could cheat the whole time. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want to do that. I want to be as honest as I can with that account. So when that account comes, we'll do it. If you got some spare dilithium, you can get some Phoenix boxes and get some. Yeah, well, that's why I said same thing. Like, I'm not going to use any dilithium on here. So the part of the rules that we're doing with Bob is that all of the dilithium that we get here is used to funnel for Bob's EC cap increase, which is essentially the account EC cap increase, right? But anyways, so we can't use any of the dilithium to buy stuff as far as that's concerned. I know that you guys are talking about the exception for the dilithium, and the thing is like, while I thought maybe I can do that and get like a couple of Phoenix prize boxes and whatnot, I think for the route that I'm doing this for right now just kind of makes sense, because like, we're not going to have a shortage of the ore. I don't believe we will. Granted, I haven't done anything today to gain ore, but I can still go out and do stuff and gain ore. And as long as I keep like the crafting passive assignments and whatnot, I should be able to get some dilithium ore to move around. But we'll see. If it becomes a problem, then maybe we'll consider using some dilithium to get some Admiralty ships so we can gain more dilithium. I understand what you guys are getting at. I'm just trying to see how this pans out. So yeah. You've been grinding out the soul set for your new Klingon character. I forgot how long it takes to get to that episode. If you do it in a linear fashion, it takes a long time to get to that episode. If you use the skip method, you can do it immediately. You can do it at level like 12. So, yeah. You forget about the asteroid mine and fleet mine? No, I don't forget about those. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can get even more. Yeah, you can do like another 500. You can do another additional 1,000 a day if we were going to push it that far. And yeah, you can get 500 from your fleet mine and all that stuff, right? But I'm just saying, like, I don't see us running out of dilithium right now. So, was Loris an actual Vorder character on DS9? I don't want to have a Mandela effect situation here. I want to say she was, but I could be wrong. Oh no. Dude, I got to think about this, because obviously, yeah, Loris was, right? They were there. Oh damn, man, don't trip me out like that, because I'm about to have a Mandela effect and sit there and go, was she there? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's slick. Ooh, I like that. Oh, I like that vanity shield on there. That's pretty. Nisharu's got the Titan. What is that? What is that vanity shield? Is that the gamma rep one or the Iconian rep? Because I mean, that looks purple in the back, but I could be wrong. It was the first one, but got replaced by Wayun. No, I swear. Oh, see, y'all are gonna make me have to. Okay, listen. Here's the deal. We're just gonna solve this right now, because if I'm gonna sit here for the next like 3 hours wondering, was Loris really on DS9? I'm be in. Was Loris on DS9? Oh, oops, I meant DS9, not. Typed in the wrong thing. Okay. Yes. Yep, she appeared on Star Trek DS9. She sure did. She played the Well, wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, her previous. Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm reading right here. Wait, what? No, she is only on DS9, but the actress who played her also played on DS9. Oh, that's so weird. Never mind. She is only on DS9, or she's only in STO. Sorry, I got that all ass backwards. She's a prominent character in Star Trek Online, a non-canon Star Trek game, and appears extensively in content involving Deep Space Nine. She is a Vorta who appeared in several missions as a Dominion leader and diplomat. She does not appear in the Deep Space Nine television series, but is part of the Victory is Life expansion content in Star Trek Online set in 2010. That's so wow. I thought I was having like a little Mandela effect there for a second. So I was like, was she on DS9? I don't think she was, but I mean, maybe. Because it's been years since I've seen DS9. I can't remember last time I watched DS9, so. There we go. No, she never appeared. But see, there you go. That's what I mean. I was kind of right there with you. I was questioning my reality. I was like, wait a second. Are you all onto something? Did she appear? That would have been something crazy, right? Yo. Oh, that's what the visuals are, is the combat engines? What's the vanity shield you have on there? Wait, the engines are in the vanity slot. But what's the vanity shield? No vanity shield? Whoa, well then what's the... Oh, okay. So what material do you have on it then? Is that just the upgrade? There's no way that's not a vanity shield. What? No, that's a... What's your actual shield? There we go. That's the question I should be asking. What's your actual shield on the ship? That's what it is. It's whatever shield you're actually using. It's got to be that, because there's no way. I know I can see the patterns. Maybe it's just my lighting. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just tripping out here. It's got to be the lighting. I'm gonna get closer to this thing. See, as you can see, my keybinds. That's my camera movement on the mouse wheel. Like I said, it's different on character that I'm streaming with versus the one I'm not usually. Okay, I guess you're right. It is the lighting. It looks darker. And I thought the very first thing I thought was the Iconian or Gamma vanity shield, because if the same kind of deal. The visuals are turned off on it. Yeah. It just looks clean. I mean, I like it. It looks good. I like your patterns on there too. You mix the red and the orange very good with the patterns, so it looks very clean. I like it. Yeah, the Lucari's set. Yeah. What instance is this? We're in instance 1. Okay. I'm gonna try and jump back over here. I'm gonna jump over to the main account. I'm gonna bring one of my beauties over. I'm gonna jump over to the main account and bring over one of my beautiful space Barbies, because Bob's account just doesn't have any. But we're not really concerned with what's going on Bob's account. Poor Bob. He's just kind of been shut out for right now. It's not his fault. He's just Bob. No, we're gonna bring out you and the beautiful Lamar. No, I don't know. I might be at ESD. I am at ESD. It's fine. I'll go over to Sphere Space and jump right over there. You guys are in instance 1 still. I think I was actively working on a ship video for this, but I've got a whole bunch of backlog stuff that I gotta pinpoint, figure out what's what. Okay, sure. Or Space Dock, you don't want to load? That's fine. This is why I hate logging off inside ESD or outside ESD. But I was currently, or like I said, I was busy working on something. But it's fine. We're gonna come out. We're gonna come out there. I like it. I think it's great. Titan Baseball Shield is nice. Yeah, the funny thing is this account doesn't have really anything for vanity shields whatsoever, other than like reputation ones. The Xbox account has like a ton of vanity shields, but I don't like playing on the Xbox because one, the population sucks. Two, there's no key binds. There's no like real like console. I really feel for console players. I do, and I love that you have the opportunity to play this game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great that you can play this game on console, but I really feel for the console community because like there's just so much stuff you guys don't have, and it really is. There's a jellyfish in front of us. It sure is. All right, I'm bringing out my one of my favorite variants. Well, actually, I kit bash the hell out of this now with the noble class. So this is the Lamar that has a little bit of noble, a little bit of sovereign, a little bit of majestic, and I think one piece of the archon on here. But yes, now I can come play Space Barbie with y'all. I like it. This is my Space Barbie, which, yeah. Like I said, don't sleep on this ship if you're a science officer. Really do not sleep on this ship. This is a promo ship. Yes. Full disclosure, it is a promo ship. So if you are looking for a ship for your event campaign, which we're almost done with this one's event campaign. Yeah, we'll get it finished on the next one, like usual. So we'll get this one finished. But if you are looking as a science officer, I wouldn't sleep on this ship. I wouldn't say it's the best in slot still for science vessels. I still stand by the Ark Royal to this day. But I think this is a very comparable ship in a lot of ways. The only thing that's missing is obviously a second hangar bay. And I do love the bridge officer layout, which allows me to put pretty much full control on this ship right there. There we go. Lots and lots of control abilities, which means lots and lots of uncon procs and everything else. So I have nothing but control, and it's Miracle Worker and Temporal. So like I said, don't sleep on it. If you have it, great. If you don't, consider possibly that as a science vessel ship, because if you like flying a sovereign and you want a science sovereign, this is the one to fly in. That's all I'm going to say. I think the word bees is cool. Yes. Yeah, the operator's costume. Yeah, I do. I like it. I mean, like I said, this one's more or less my premium PC account that has just anything I ever want, I just buy. Like, it's just bad. I hate to be that person, but it's true. If I want it, I just buy it. I don't have the time to not, build whatever. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just grab it. Sometimes that's, but at least I don't have to worry about it in the future, I guess. I don't think I'm going to buy out the Gamchi on here. Maybe I will. We'll see. I mean, I think I might have enough dilithium between all my characters on here, depending on how much it's going to cost. If I think it's going to cost the amount I think it's going to cost, I might have enough. Because I'm not really doing anything with dilithium, and not to mention that all my characters are tier 6, and I'm just like could turn all these marks into more unrefined dilithium, but I choose not to because what's the point? So yeah, this one's just kind of chilling. I'm just kind of chilling and nothing. Yeah, 27K is in on the main, and I just can't bring myself to buy anything. Yeah, and that's kind of like why I said, like, for me, if I want to buy something, I will, but it's like I don't need to at this point. Like, I just kind of cash in the event prize. What to do with Lobby anymore? Flip items and hope they come out with some goodies. Well, they did say today on stream, so that's the other thing too. They did say that the Lobby store is going to receive an update. They did confirm it's going to receive an update. Again, no time frame and no what that update's going to be, but they did confirm that because Lobby is one of those things that, like, once you kind of go through and you buy the ships and you buy the traits, right? So you have the Boimler and everything else, and you have Veruvian explosions, and you have the costumes and blah blah blah. And like Lobby gets to a point where you just don't really need it, or it almost becomes like a second gold press latinum at that point. You just start stacking Lobby, right? Actually, here, let's do this. Let's have a little bit more fun with this. Guys, I've loved playing Space Barbie with you, but we're gonna go over to Tribble Test for just a second. I do have a character copied over there, and I have a bunch of Lobi and a bunch of freaking ships and everything. So I want to kind of just show you guys like what I'm talking about. But they did say like it's just one of those scenarios where, let me go over to here to Tribble, engage. That like you just can't really do anything with it anymore, because of the fact that if you have everything, there's no reason for you to buy anything else, right? So you just, what do? And they said, well, we're gonna update it. They're also gonna update, what else did they say they were gonna, I don't want to misquote them, but I didn't know they said the Lobi store. They said obviously they're gonna put stuff in for dilithium, we just don't know what. Okay, so here we go, we're on Tribble, and we do have over here, they created too many currency and now they have, yes, exactly. Well, and yes, and that's true. I think I have like 3,000 Lobi over here, and I've, like I said, all kinds of ships. But this is all just copied over, right? So I mean, like, I can have unlimited whatever I want. Like, that's the bad thing about, like, I love Tribble for this reason, so we can always test whatever, and that's kind of what I've been using it for, what it's meant to be used for, and why I'm glad it's back. But yeah, we were here for that Deep Space Nine event. That was a lot of fun, actually. It was kind of neat. But all right, so hey, look, there's other Tribbles. Okay, anyways, so we're on Tribble Test, and you get to this point right here, right? And I don't think you all can really see it all that well. Maybe you can. So we got all these premium ships that we can just bust open, test, whatever. But you get to a point where what do? You can buy more ships and sell them, sure. And that's pretty much, I guess, what you could do if you wanted to. You can spend the 900, buy a ship, sell it. But if you already have all the traits, I guess you could continue to buy these and sell them. I guess that's another option. But I don't think the price to sell ratio versus like the price to obtain Lobi is really worth it, in my opinion, because a lockbox key can net you anywhere from what is it, like 4 to 10 Lobi a piece. So one is 12 million on the exchange, and the most you can get out of these traits is about what, 45 million. So in 5 keys, give or take 4 or 5 keys, is it 4 keys? Yeah, 4 keys, the maximum amount of Lobi you can make is 40. That's it. It's like the maximum you can make in 4 keys, if all 4 of those keys give you 10 each. So it's not really worth buying these and reselling them using your hard-earned, well, I guess earned, hard money spent, whichever way you did it, currency to sell this for a lesser ratio. It's just not worth it. Your ground gear, like I said, the same thing. This is all, I think, binds to you, right? Yeah, binds on pickups. So you can't even resell half of these things. Yeah, only gets you 50 million. Yeah, exactly. 50 million EC max when it takes 5 keys, and the most you can get is like 40 to 50 Lobi each. You're at a net loss at that point. So I think they know it. And again, same thing with a ship. What's the max you all sell a ship for? 250 million? I don't actually buy anything from this store myself, which is why this is all sitting here. I've actually spent all of this over the course of time on my main account, so that's why I jumped over here to Tribble. I don't have any Lobi over there, as you saw in my inventory, so that's the reason why we're over here. This is all that's been transferred over to Tribble before I just kind of like spent it. So my point being is, like, I don't even obtain this anymore because there's just nothing worth it. I bought all the ships that I'm ever going to want, right? Like the Maquis Raider for the console. I forget, Plasma Storm Modulator console, right? The Plasma Storm module. I've already bought that. I got the Tholian Nikitomi for the trait. I've got I mean, I everything, and then now the NX Escort refit is as an account wide unlock in the Zen store, right? So like, you don't have a reason to really do anything out of this other than if you don't have it for some reason, I guess. Like, I don't know, and I know maybe for a new player, like a brand new fresh player, this is going to be great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to discount you if you haven't obtained this stuff, but once you obtain them, and you obtain them for the specific reasons that you want to, because mind you, all this stuff is character bound. None of this is account bound, except for like traits and stuff you can trade across your account, right? You can trade this across your account or whatever. But like for the most part, all this stuff is character bound. So once you, oh, this one's account bound. But anyways, once you buy this stuff and you put it on that character, that's it. It's done. And you, and you're never going to use it again. You're never going to use it again. I don't know why I have all these duty officer packs. All this is stuff. I know why. This is all the promo ship stuff. But anyways, so yeah, I can't wait for them to update it. I would just suggest holding on to it if you have it, and if you don't have it, you could accumulate over the course of time. Even buy a key here and there off the exchange for 12 million, and then open a box, and there you go. You got 12, and you know. Maybe. Okay. All right. So anyways, that's just all I wanted to go over because I wanted to see what was in the low buy store. I forgot. I haven't been in here for a minute. And like I said, I didn't have any on the main account. But yeah, nothing worth it. The Vengeance is the only real relevant platform to flying anymore. Oh, I believe we have a Vengeance on here. If not, I do on my tactical. I don't on this character. It's on my tactical because I don't need to fly the Vengeance on my science officer. Science officer does science things. I themed it that way, but the funny thing about that, I've been meaning to do a video on this. I probably will do a video on this. This will become a video here in the next week or two, depending on what. If I need a filler video, listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. If I need a filler video before the Rise event, this will be a video to fill that gap. But not that I'm just putting out content. This is an actual concern of mine. Oh my gosh, I didn't get off a tribble. Hold on. I didn't mean this. I hate doing that. I hate when I hit the launch thing and I forget to click off a tribble. How many of y'all ever do that? I can't be the only one. But this has become a concern of mine. I think this is a concern of many other people's. Or if you're not paying attention, it will become a concern of yours. Because of the fact that I have so many different ships, and sometimes I see these ships, and I've even said it here on stream multiple times. I said, oh my goodness. They gave us a free Vengeance. I'm going to go through why they gave us a free Vengeance. And this isn't the only ship at all. There's about 5 other ships that I can think of, including the Orion, the Orchid that just dropped, that are exactly the same seating. Why do I keep putting these guys at ESD? I don't know why I do. Oh, wait. This is a good thing that I'm on this tactical character. Do you all know why? I've been silently building this one up in the background. They will be hitting tier 6 and all their reputations today. This one just did. But they will hit tier 6 and all their. This one's been being built in the passive background because it's like I never have time to play them. But yeah, they'll be tier 6 on all their reps. So this is another character that'll just be done and sitting there. But this is something I'm concerned about, and I think y'all should be too. And once I get to the ship selector, you'll soon understand. Because we're going to do this. We're going to do this in real time. I'm going to pull up. I'm actually going to do this 2 different ways. I'm going to show you guys. So let's do it like this. We're going to come over here. We're going to take a look at this. I am going to screen grab this. Okay, I have that on the screen grab. And we're going to go here. and paste that. Okay, I got it there. All right. All right. We're gonna come pull up the Vengeance, because we definitely have it on here. It's one of my favorite ships. I don't think I dry docked it. I hope I didn't dry dock it. Hey, look at Mirror Warship. Maybe I did dry dock it. Oh no, do I not have any dry dock slots available? No, I did. There it is. There's the Vengeance. I did dry dock it. Okay, hold on. Which ship can I get rid of comfortably and not care about? I guess I can flood my inventory with a bunch of crap. I can reclaim all this stuff. Not that one. I can't reclaim the Credence. I can't reclaim the Mirror Warship. I can reclaim you. That's fine. We're going to discharge you. Like I said, this one's been just kind of building up in the background. It hasn't been doing much of anything other than building up. But here's the whole reason why. I can't believe I had this one just chilling back there. I said we should all be concerned about this. Ready to starship. I'm going to save and continue. I don't remember what I've done with this ship yet, so I'm going to save that. All right. Okay, here we go. Real time. I'm going to pull up the screenshot I took. Now, if you remember, the screenshot I took was on the Sovereign. It was not. It was on the Noble. It was not on the what's it called? I'm sure some of y'all are kind of understanding what I'm alluding at to here. It was not on the Vengeance. I'm on the Vengeance right now. Here we go. Let me move this screen to here. And then let me put this over to here. The Noble and the Vengeance are the exact same seating. And this is not the only ship that does this. They are the exact same seating. Minus one there. That's it. This is the problem. This is the exact problem that so all they did was they swapped these two seats, and they're exactly the same. So they gave us a free Vengeance with the Noble. The only difference between the two ships is the type of seating and the fact that the Vengeance has a hangar bay that the Noble does not have. That's the only difference. Everything else is exactly the same. So the problem that we're running across is it's same exact ship loadouts, same exact 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, same exact 100%. You can set up both ships exactly the same. The problem that we're running across in Star Trek, and that's why I said this is also on the Orchid, this is also on the Hydra. The Hydra, which we have as well. I don't know if I have it claimed on this character. I may not have. I guess no, I do have the Hydra. I do have the Hydra claimed. But the Hydra and the Orchid have the exact same seating. The problem is the Orchid is a promo ship, right? So the Orchid's a promo ship, and the Hydra is a $30 ship. So, and the thing is like I think one of two things needs to happen. Let me see, which one do I have it on? I got so many freaking ships. I got to figure out who's got what. The problem is, yes, and you're right. There's such a huge amount of ships in this game, and there's 700 plus ships. They're running out of. Do I have the Hydra on you? Save and continue. There's the Eagle. You're probably dry docked. You are dry docked. Damn it! I know I have the Hydra. It's fine. It's whatever. We don't have to bring it up. Y'all can just honestly look this stuff up, or you should know about it by now. But the problem is that what they need to do is find new seatings, ways to make ships interesting. And I think they should introduce either one of two things. You want to keep the game fresh, you can create these layouts right here, and you can make them all universal. So you can turn all these into universal stations, and that might shake up some things a little bit. But I think they should introduce a token to assign the pilot seating that you want for that ship. I know it's weird and it could be controversial and it could create some issues. They would probably have to balance it out. But could you imagine say that you had a full universal layout and no specialization seatings right here, but you could buy a token that turned this commander engineering or this commander universal station into a commander miracle worker station. Okay. And then this became a commander or lieutenant commander pilot station or something. I think that could possibly shake things up and allow them to continue to release these ships that they're now running out of. Like, well, why would I get the Orchid when I have the Hydrid? Why would I mean, if now you don't have a reason to get the Vengeance unless of course you want the extra hangar base slot and you like flying the Vengeance because it's an awesome ship to fly, but like otherwise you don't have a reason to get it. You have it with the Noble. There's no reason to. So if they want to avoid that, what is going on here? Am I just being... That was fun. That was awesome. I don't know if you guys could see that behind the menu or not, but like I just got warped and pushed all the way up to the top here. That was cool. Anyways, they got to come up with something. They got to come up with a new way to make things fresh, because I think that this is what we were talking about earlier about them painting themselves into a corner of all the problems that they paint themselves into a corner of, on top of like, you know, the different currencies that they have in game and whatnot, right? So like all the different, you know, useless items. I'm glad I'm on here anyways because I got to refine dilithium. But like GPL is completely useless, right? Or like you're just stacking dilithium to stack dilithium. You get to a point where your fleet credits become so asinine because of the fact that like you've donated everything to fleet projects and you're just basically using fleet credits to buy duty officers and resell them, and then you rinse and repeat, right? So like there are a lot of issues with their currency system, but then same thing when it comes to ships here. The more ships they release, the more that they're not going to be able to make these stations, you know, so unique, because now they're going to clone copy other ones and whatnot. So they would need to do something in the way of modularity. Otherwise, releasing new specs or tiers will obsolete a lot of money in old ships. The ships are saying, yeah, I and you're right. They do it. They would need to, again, they would need to redesign some of the systems that they have in place already to either allow like even the older ships to roll on these new systems. Because like we talked about this too, like the tier 6 Odysseys, right? They only have one specialization seating because early on when they first released the tier 6 ships, they only had the one specialization seating. Like they had they had the like a command seating or something, but they didn't have the two seating. So they would need to update that system and allow it to be used as that. GPL is only useful for DOF missions unless you like the hollow images they have. You got in bed? All right, good night. I love you. Bye. So anyways, yeah, GPL is only useful unless you like the hollow. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. It's like once you buy all the hollow trophies and I guess you do the duty officer assignments that say like they require, you know, let's see if there's even any up right now. There's probably not in here. Maybe there is. No. But yeah. They could release updated versions, maybe for a few fleet modules if you own the original. So I heard that, I mean, we do know that there's stuff coming to the fleets themselves, right? They're getting updates. We just don't know what is getting updated, but we know something's getting updated. It does too. He's not wrong. The GPL does get you all the little cool sunglasses and stuff. That's true, but that's about it. The party ones. And there's that party outfit too. I forget about that one. But yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot that they, and again, like I know this is a two-pronged thing that they're facing right now. One, they did this to themselves when they did the free-to-play transition, because you got to remember the game changed drastically from the subscription model to this model, right? To the free-to-play model. And when they did that, they introduced all these like new ways to obtain items, new ways to get stuff. The subscription model wasn't quote unquote working for them. So yeah. I have a Romulan all identical to Morpheus with the shades. Yeah, I forget how like we can, absolutely buy those things. I don't have anything on this character for. I might as well get them, but I forget about them too. But like I said, it's just like we're gonna have to see. Everything's like a big waiting game for this year. I feel like 2026 is gonna be. I don't want to be that person, but I want to say this is like that defining moment for this game. And I feel like it's taken them 16 years to get to this point, that this is going to be like the year that kind of shows how the game can either proceed forward for the next at least 4 years, so we make it to a 20th anniversary, or beyond that. Like, I think this is the year that they really need to like put their best foot forward and say, this is what we got for y'all. And then this is the roadway to the next year, because like, you know, y'all are making some very good points, right? They need to update a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff is dated. Ships are left behind. Fleet stuff is left behind. Lobby, Gold Press, Latinum, all this stuff is just left behind. And it's like, yeah, they keep throwing us like they're dangling that carrot in front of us, right? We're the rabbits. They're dangling the carrot in front of us, and they're like, "Hey, you guys, you want this, huh? You want this carrot? Like, here you go. Don't even worry about like the predators back behind the carrot. Just focus on the carrot and the predators behind the carrot. You know, the wolves or whatever. That's all the outdated systems that we're being told basically not to worry about. Just look at the new shiny ship. Look at the new shiny trait. You know, that's what we're told to be concerned of. So, just watch huge changes will be announced and World War III happens, bro. Don't put that out there in the universe. Look, we don't do politics here on this channel. I'm not going to shy about it, but I am going to say, like, as the atmosphere of the world looks right now and the political climate we're in, it's a little bit scary, you know, like it could happen. You never know. But yeah, we don't, you know, that's just not what we're about. But I am definitely, I got a big laugh out of that. That's great. Like, that's terrible, but it's great. Because yeah, that would be the day, right? That would just be our luck as STO players who have been, no matter what time you've started playing this game. I think it's fair to say everybody at one point of this game, has been drugged through the mud on this game one way or another, whether it's something, whether it was the transitions from company to company, whether it was the way old Cryptic handled the game versus the way I guess Arc and Cryptic handled the game or whatever, right? Like, so once you kind of had a taste of STO, like that would be the ultimate thing, is like, here's something good, guys. Here's the biggest announcement in STO's history, and World War III starts, and you're like, son of a bitch. Like, I can't play no more. Step 1, stop using secret hideout dialogue. Step 2, more and shorter missions. Step 3, update seasonal events with new things to do. Step 4, focus back on STO native characters and its own. You know, those are actually some pretty, again, like a great freaking things that they do, because like the story itself, right? You go over here to episodes, right? And like, once I would say, yeah, once the Gamma Quadrant's done, like, which I haven't, you know, I've done select few missions here and there, but anyways, once Gamma Quadrant's done, this all is very centric to characters or very centric to one like focused thing, and it's like it's not enough. They use this as their seasonal content updates, right? So like from Age of Discovery, Jules Discovery, Klingon Civil War, like all this stuff has been like season 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I think that's kind of pretty much how it is. And like, I don't like that. I don't, because like, if you think about it this way, all this stuff right up here from, well, not necessarily Empire. Empire is actually the Klingons' quote unquote new storyline before they had storyline. But anyways, all this stuff down here, all the way up to New Frontiers, I guess, is like pretty much the STO story, but it wasn't seasons. It wasn't like they didn't release all this stuff and go, okay, this is season 1, this is season 2, this is season 3, this is season 4, this is season 5, season 6, right? They didn't do that. When the game was initially released, I think it stopped here at like, well, actually, there's some story missions that are missing. They're not even in the game anymore, which that really bites. Some of them are now in the available tab, right? Because actually, the Cold Front all the Breen stuff used to be an actual episode arc before it got moved. So whether it's not in the game anymore or got moved, that's not the point. What I'm saying is it stopped, and then they would do like Delta Rising was a big expansion deal. That was where the Delta Quadrant and like all this stuff came out, right? So that was like a big thing, but it wasn't a season. It was like, I don't know when the season stuff. I don't know when they transition to season stuff. Because supposedly we're on season 35 right now, and I don't even know how that works. That doesn't even make sense to me. But would be nice to use GPL to go to Frangenar and shop in various stores and shops. Perhaps buy different Ferengi ships. That would be neat. I really, I mean, I think every player's been saying this. Yeah, New Romulus and Delta Rising, their expansion packs. Exactly. That's right, Saberfang. That's exactly what I mean. But going back to what Jericho was saying, that's exactly what I feel like this game should continuously do, is make these more or less, like you said, like expansion packs, right? But not like, here's 2 episodes, here's 2 episodes, and here's 2 episodes, and we're going to release this in January, February. Then we're going to come back and maybe get to this around May and June. Oh, wait, here, we got to toss in 3 more episodes to carry you all through October. And you might get the last episode by December. If not, that's going to bleed into the next year. And we're going to call this Kings and Queens whole entire story arc episode 30 or season 35. And it's going to carry you throughout the whole year. Because that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened here. That's what happened with Terran Gambit. And I don't like that they do that. And I wish they would say, and I know that they have a small development team now, much smaller than they did before. But what I'm saying is I wish they would just say, here's all these quality of life fixes we're doing. Here's all these updates we're doing. And while we're doing these updates and quality of life things, we're working on an expansion, a full expansion for you to go and enjoy and play when we're done with these quality of life. So yes, we have, let's just say, I would say STO's development team, let's say they have a modest like 50 people working on the entire project of the game, and they say we're dedicating 25 of these people underneath, you know, Jeremy to work out system stuff and blah blah blah, update the game. The other 25 are going to be slowly, like with pundits and everybody else, right? They're going to be slowly put in these elements together for the new story, and it might take a full year to make the freaking story, and that's fine as long as you're giving us quality of life updates and you're fixing older systems in between and whatever else. I think we can hang on to that. You think he'll step up when that $25 million loan is paid back? I mean, I don't know. That's why I say I know their development team's a lot smaller. I know things are a lot. They've made a lot of cutbacks. I get that. I understand that. I know that, again, the money buyout or the buyout, the transition companies and everything else. I understand all of this from a business standpoint of view, and this is why they cannot. They cannot cut all the C store or the Zen store, whatever you want to call it. I've always called it the C store. In fact, I think I did call it that in Thursday's coming video. But anyways, whatever you want to call it, you can't cut a lot of this stuff out. As much as it would just make sense to do it and be like, it's an outdated system, we don't need it anymore. Whatever. Like, okay. We just talked about this on stream earlier. Not on our stream, but on somebody else's stream. You guys know, let me see if I can find it. I don't think it's necessarily in the store. I could be wrong because I don't see it here. Let me see if it's here. No. Yes, there it is. You know they still have T5U upgrade tokens for 700 Zen in the store. First off, you got to be freaking crazy to even consider buying this, right? Like you would just have to be consider. And listen, I get that there's too many tier 6 ships, ways to get them free nowadays. Like this is a completely irrelevant thing, but like this has been in the store for at least 10 years, 9 to 10 years. When did they introduce T5U? 9 years ago. So, this is nuts to me that they even have stuff in here. And this isn't the only thing that they have in here that's just like dated and obsolete. But like, I understand that they can't remove some of these things from the store because, like, okay, if you were a brand new player, you just came into this game blindly, you got a T5 ship, and when you open that T5 ship, it says right down here, this one's not going to say it because it's T6X2, but it would say upgrade, right? You click on it and it says, oh, it requires a T5U upgrade token. You don't know nothing about this store. It's a trap. And then they're going to go, well, I'm going to buy this. I want my ship to be upgraded. Obviously, it's a free $7 trap that Cryptic just made off of you. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And I hate that I would even like bring that up, but it's the honest truth. But it hasn't been removed from the store in 9 years. And I would love to see the numbers. I would love to see the numbers. Where is it at? Again, I'd love to see the numbers of how many purchases have been made of this in the last 9 years. Let me correct that. How many purchases has been made since event campaign started? So when event campaign started, I think they started 6 years ago. This sounds about right. I think it's about 6 years now. Yeah. So 6 years ago. Now that and since it started 6 years ago, you've been able to earn various ways of earning T6 ships. So I want to know the sales numbers of how many of these people have fallen into this trap right here. Yeah. Oh yeah, they should be 100% free at this point. Funny story, back in the day, a fleet member mostly ran female tunes. Asked him why. He said, since you are forced to look at the tunes, ask you for it to be a woman's rather than a man's. That is the longest time standing thing. Do you know that all my characters are female? That's been my philosophy for everything. Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think. Listen, I don't think that's the only one that's a male is Bob, and Bob's a male for a reason because we did it that way. Here's the other female. Here's another female. If I go onto my main account, y'all, like all of them, same thing. They're all, yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's been a lifelong thing, Nisharu. Like I do the same thing because it's like I said, if my camera view is from behind them, I did it in World of Warcraft and everything. I am the same exact reason. I never make a character based on like whatever. So yeah. I'm glad we're all like-minded in that. That's great. At least they haven't put in some Chinese tactics of having you buy time over your play limit. Some Korean title actually did this. I've heard about that. How does that work exactly? Like they have a play time and then they have to pay for more play or something? I guess that's the premise of it, but how does that work? Like the game keeps track of how long you play the game, right? Because you're only supposed to like play X amount of time to keep people from like playing the MMO too long or playing a game too long, so they have like time limits. Is that what I understand? I was so happy that they fixed the chest hair on the male models. I like I said, I mean Bob's our only male character, but that's not going to be true here when the Delta Recruit event comes, because I've made an executive decision. So one, we're going to have our joint Trill science character. That's going to happen. But since we get to make 3 of them for all purposes of maximizing rewards, right? I'm going to remake Bob on our main account, and he's going to look exactly the same. So I will have a male on this account because I've grown attached to Bob. I really have. But I'm not going to get rid of Bob on the free-to-play account without having Bob on the main account. And that's just kind of how that works. So Bob will be coming over here. It will be like Bob of Borg or Bob 2.0. I haven't really figured out what I want to name Bob over here, but I want to make sure that it's over here. I just want to, and they will be a Delta recruit. They'll be a Romulan alien Delta recruit. So, yeah. But yeah, so I honestly, like I said, I don't remember last time I really rolled a male character other than what I'm forced to with the Jim Hadar Vanguard or Bob. That's it. Everybody else I ever roll is a female character. So that's just how I've always viewed it too. I'm the exact opposite. I always make male characters because I put myself in their shoes and it makes it more immersive, in your opinion. And that's fair too. And that's fair from the aspect of like, if you are looking at it from the aspect of like immersion, right? I could do that with the aspect of making a character and feeling more connected to them in that aspect. For the purposes that I've played the game for years and years and years as just strictly an MMO, I've never really immersed myself in the aspect of creating a story around the captain, as far as like playing it in that aspect. So I've always kind of looked at the captain as, you're just a pilot to the ship that I'm building. Like, I hate to say that, it's true, because I love the space combat in this game. I more or less personalize my ships as I draw more attention to them than I do the actual character. Bob is the exception, and this is why I said I've really grown attached to Bob, and I really have, because Bob has made what this channel has been here over the last 2 months for sure. So Bob is a staple character. So in that sense, that immersion makes sense, and I understand that. So I think that's why I said I'm going to remake him over here. And granted, he won't be the original Bob that we're going to have all these adventures with him on, but he'll still be a part of my main account because it's Bob, right? But my immersion comes from the sense of all these look, she's a pretty face, and she's the pilot of my ship while I'm in control. She's just there flying my beautiful space Barbie because I love my ship more than I do the ground stuff. Now that may change eventually if the ground combat ever gets better, I guess. But until that day arrives, yeah. You've had an Eric Hawk in every game I've played since EQ1. So here's the standing thing. You guys might have caught this from the beginning intro of our streams and videos. You'll notice that I have a tag on Xbox, and this is because I'm a child at heart. I've had one character's name that's carried on in every single game I've ever played. You will find Shatanya, as in shit on ya, but this is safe because I've never been banned by this name on anything. But you will find this character on every single platform I own, on every single MMO I've owned. I don't know why. It's always just stuck with me. I think it was because back in the day when I used to PvP, like this name just kind of just like stayed with me, but it's on every single thing I absolutely own. This is a character, and same with Captain Spicy Pants will always be there. But I've had this character's name on every single account one way or another. So, you just drank 12 liters of wine today and it's doing the job. Nice. So yeah, like I said, I'm a child at heart, and you'll always find a Shatanya on there. So, and that's why I said the beginning intro. My Xbox handle is Shatanya117, which is a mix of Halo and Star Trek, or Halo and whatever, right? So, in the immortal words of Spencer, terrible. Yep. You know what? That's the thing, is like you can always thank Spencer for terrible. Just terrible. I enjoy going to his streams. I have a good time. He's very chill and fun to just like, for different reasons, right? Like and he's very knowledgeable. He's a very smart guy, and he knows a lot of the mechanics and stuff about this game. So I definitely love sitting there just listening to him talk sometimes. But your handle comes from RB. What is RB3D? Hold on. What's RB3? What does RB stand for? Not to be confused with her sister Shartanya. Dude, that's so great that you said that. I should fire up the Xbox account. I really do have. Okay. You know what? That's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull up the Xbox account, wherever it's at. Let me find my controller real quick. Here. You guys haven't seen Bob real quick? I'll give you guys a quick be right back with Bob while I go get my controller.
Hi there, I'm Bob. Captain Spicy Pants is on Be Right Back. Although I am sure he will return. Just hang in there. He's probably milking you for watch hours right now. Is he back yet?
Okay, just quick, be right back. All right, I found it. Yeah, we'll fire up the Xbox account. I don't really play on it too much. Red Baron 3D. Oh yeah, that's the old like World War II planes game, right? If I remember that correctly, I remember that the PC game. Or maybe it's like World War One fighter jets or something. But I think I kind of remember that. It was a legit game back in the day. Okay, it might be loud for a second because usually when you start up the Xbox app, like they have to like throw it in your face that it's so freaking loud. I don't know why. So I apologize for any loud volume that's about to hit you all. Then properties. No, Xbox. There we go. What's going on here? Oh. Why is it not? It says I'm on. I can see that I have a screen, but the screen's black. Why is it black? Uh-oh. Did it just like not load up? Oh, that's why. Because Xbox's wonderful cloud gaming service is the best of all time. And there we go. Okay, I can see it on the screen. There we go. Hey. Already got a controller. There we go. All right. So, yeah. This is why, again, like I said, I feel for console players. I do. I know because I spent a lot of years on console off and on. So I know. But I'm just saying, like, I feel for you all. But since somebody brought up Shartanya, you guys want to see how much of a child I was. And still am sometimes. I'm a child at heart. Can't help it. This is how original I was with my my character names over on console, which, like I said, you'll see that Shatanya. Well, Shatanya right there, right? But let's see which names we can come up with. I might have to squeeze the screen a little bit for y'all to see all their character names. Nope. Oh yeah, there's Hi YouTube. Okay, so there's Spicy, right? This is Cart Fanaker. So I just, if you can figure that one out, great. And if you know where the original one comes from, then great. This is Shit on Ya, right? Okay. Yep. Let's see how original I'm getting here. Okay. There's Thought on Ya, which we won't, we won't have to go. And who's this? Who is this lovely character right there? That Epocatharsis said not to be confused with her sister Shartanya. Yes, I am a child. There's Poo Anya. Don't forget that. Okay. There's Do Anya, which I don't even know where that comes from. There's randomly Kim. I don't know where Kim came from. There's another Spicy Pants, and then there's I don't know. This is I don't know. Yeah, console peasants. Yes. So yeah, I've had these names 100%. That's why I said you will find these names. Any variant of this of me being a child, I'm going to throw it out there. I don't care. I just don't. It's like I have no connection to any of these except for good old Spicy here. Yeah, for sure. So I want to show you guys the dedication I had. The reason why this character, this was the last video. I kid you not. I went through all my accounts because like I have recruits done on different accounts, right? And when I was making the top like 10 tips, right? I was talking about recruits. All my characters have claimed every single one of their boxes on here, right? The reward boxes. All of these for all of them. And so I had no way to show anything. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, the only way I could do this is if I roll a new character and get it to level 20 real quick. So if you guys go back and watch the video and look in this bottom left-hand corner, you'll see Hi YouTube in that video, and I'm on this account and this character. You wish your 10-year-old time. Listen, like I said, I'm a child at heart. I really am. I grew up on Beavis and Butthead, obviously, right? Like I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up on that. And I don't know. I just kind of like it. Just just stuff that stuck with me. So yeah, moral of the story is I made this entire character for a fraction of a video last week. That's how much dedication I have to these videos, guys. I will literally make a character for no other purpose than to just throw it in a quick shot to show something that is yeah, that doesn't matter now because like here's all the assets to it, right? But like literally all these characters that I have on here, they've already claimed all the boxes because they're that, you know, they've just been sitting around for a long time not doing anything. So I was like, well, I guess got to make a character to level 20. Comedy's totally missing from most of the STO streamers. This channel is pretty fun. You know, and that's the thing. I don't want to knock any content creators whatsoever. I love all the STO content creators. I do. I don't think I have an issue with anybody that I would, and if I did, I'm not going to be the person that stirs up any kind of drama because I don't like drama and stuff. I believe humor is the best medicine. I believe that you should laugh about anything in life that you can laugh about, even at the expense of yourself, which is why I like doing some of the stupid stuff that I do. And at the same time, I have fun with it because at the end of the day, I know that I'm a much happier person because I am laughing or I'm enjoying it. And even if it's childish, stupidest, like humor like this, okay? Like, I mean, honestly, this is really fart knocker, right? So it's just kind of like how I am and how I grew up is like, I'd lived a lot of serious stuff, you know, and I'm not trying to change the tone of this conversation or anything, but oh, Eric Hawk, oh my gosh, see, I told you guys, terrible. I appreciate you being here, bud. Take care. I'll see you when I see you. But I have grown up in a life that was very militaristic. My dad was in the military. I've moved around the world a lot. I've talked about this. I've had my own military career. I've probably seen and done things that a lot of people probably shouldn't or don't want to see and do. I have found there is one common thing that has got me through those rough times, and that's humor. And if you can laugh about something, if you can laugh at yourself, if you can laugh about something you're doing, if you can laugh about anything out there, you're going to find you're able to get through those things, and you're going to find that you aren't going to take such, you know, matters serious in life. You know, like there's a time and place to be serious. But I think that's why I love when I said, like, I love talking to you all on here. I love having fun with y'all. I love this kind of stuff because it gets me out of my own head. And that's the honest truth. It does. It gets me out of my own head. And it's, you know, everybody's a little bit crazy, right? But like, I'm just saying I get to sit here and go, oh yeah, you know, like this is fun. I get to talk about whatever. I get to have good laughs. I get to learn stuff. I get to sit here and bounce ideas off of you guys. Like, this is cool. And I don't take it for granted at all. So, I don't know, man. What should we do? Here's the biggest regret. I'm going to show you guys the biggest regret. Okay. You guys are going to laugh at me for this. I know some of you will anyways. The biggest regret I have of console that is really just killing me here. This is just a fraction of what I own. All those ships and everything. Mind you, this is one of 2 console accounts. And they're fully stacked like this. And if it tells you exactly how and where my focus has shifted to PC, where my regrets lie, I am scrolling through all of these, and there's 77 of those and 45 active or dry dock slots, and I don't even have like everything unlocked. I mean, like I have every what's it called? Like I have every. But this is what I mean, is like, this is how terrible it got for me to finally, I guess, realize I wanted to switch back to PC, is because there's nothing left for me here on console. Like, that's the sad reality of it, is there's nothing left for me over here. And I hate that so much because of how much I've put into here. It's wild. And here's the other stupid thing I did. I don't even know if it will show up anymore. It probably won't. No, it won't. It won't show up. Anyways, I bought the lifetime subscription on console, and we don't even get the 500 stipend on here at all. The 500 Zen. We don't even get that. Do you know that? For the hardcore PC players, do you know that if console buys the lifetime, they don't even get the and I bought it because back when the game first dropped in 2016 on here, I thought we were getting that 500 stipend. They didn't even tell us that it wasn't coming with it. I knew about the lifetime subscription because of STO on PC, and I bought it on console, and we never even got it. How crazy is that? So we got completely railroaded on it. So I don't know what I spent at the time. It was probably like $300 or whatever. So yeah, I hate it. I hate it that I have a dead whatever. If they would just offer account login to PC from console, yeah, what I would want them to allow is if they don't do a cross play of any kind, then allow you to log in your account from whatever platform you're playing it on, kind of like what Destiny 2 did. I loved what Destiny 2 did. You can go from Xbox to PC or PlayStation to Xbox and PlayStation to PC, all that. Like I wish they would do that with STO, is so that no matter what you own, right? Because like obviously we play on PC, but like I'm saying, like if since I don't even fire up this account, the last time I fired up this account was to get the Noble, right? I don't even think I've done any of the events this year. Yeah, I don't think I've done any. Yeah, I haven't done a single event. I haven't even bothered with any of the events on here. Which, granted, we're only on a good day to die on console. They're a whole event behind us on PC. I'm almost done with PC's event, and yeah, it bites. I got back on PC out almost after 6 years. Emit more than 14K. They can't. The base front. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I mean. And Winter Fox, like it bites that how much time I put into the console side of things that I don't even bother with it anymore. Donbrook, take care. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate you. But yeah, it kills me because like, I mean, we have so much stuff. I have every single board duty officer on this account, like every one of them exponentially multiple times. Like it's bad. And like, I could go through, like, look at this. I'm not even joking when I tell you, I have every single one that I can't do anything with them other than like sell them and to a small group of people who would want them or anything like that. Right. And this is kind of like what I mean is like, I wasted too much time on here. I wasted years on here because they will never have the support PC does. And I know that if you are a hardcore console player, I'm not trying to deter you whatsoever. Enjoy whatever platform you can play on and enjoy it and whatnot. Like have a good time with it. But for those that are curious about what I mean by here on console, let me go and show you guys something. I've done this a couple times, and it really hurts, and it really does hurt. They mentioned something on an STO stream about looking into moving accounts from console to PC. Not much mentioned about it, nothing confirmed, but it something that would be great. It would be, because then I would just have everything back over on PC, and I'd be fine with it. I'd be happy. Does the dilithium store work here? I don't know. I have never listened. Let me see. I mean, I have like a little bit of dilithium. Let's see what the dilithium exchange is here. It's at 399. It's 398. So let's see. Let's see how quick it lists here. Let's just put this for. Let's go for 3. Let's test it. I want to see what it does. 398. And then let's do, how much Zen do we have, or dilithium? Let's do 58,000. Let's see how quick it goes. Submit offer to buy, 145. Oh, look, it's instantaneous. You do get your Zen very fast over here. I got 145 Zen. So yeah, it does work. But that's like the only thing that works, I suppose. They don't have a big backlog on there. But that's it. But see, this is what kills me, okay? We're gonna go to Earth Space Dock. The reason I'm doing this intentionally. I want to show you guys something. All right. So it's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour before midnight. Okay. And we're going to Sol System for this reason, because I always gauge this metric. And one of the things that makes it extremely sad and heartbreaking for me, because there used to be a time where STO on Xbox was super lively. I mean, it was just about as lively as PC. I guarantee you it was when it first came out for a while. Nighttime membership on console a little cheap. Yeah, I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I was still kind of miffed about it. But this is what I mean. We're gonna go here to wait. How do I open the map thing again? There we go. Change instance. Hey, there's 19 players in one system of Soul at 11 o'clock at night on Xbox. Okay, that's on Xbox. Okay, let's go back over to PC. That's on Xbox. Remember I told you the population difference is massive, and why I don't even play over here anymore. All right, so we're gonna go back on the holodeck. We're gonna go over here to STO on PC. Yeah, probably. That probably was. Yeah, I'm pulling up my PC account right now. I think I'm... Wait, who's at Earth Space Dock? You are. Okay, so I'm gonna... Ooh, I gotta resize that. Hold on. That is way off the screen because I did switch things. Okay, transform. Hit the screen. Okay. There we go. Now that fixed it. All right, we're going to zoom up here. Okay, so remember, 19 on Xbox and on PC at 11 o'clock at night, there is one instance of 29, another instance of 27, another instance of 30, and the instance I'm in has 5. You guys understand how massive the difference is between? Then this is just ESD at 11 o'clock at night. Now 11 o'clock during the day is different. Obviously there's probably about 10 to 12 different instances, and on the weekend there's about 15 instances. On Xbox that only becomes about 4 instances. That's it. And that's a continuous oh yeah, I changed maps because I was sitting in the map menu. But anyways, that's what it is. And that's why I say, like, I'm so upset because of all the time invested in Xbox for it to be essentially ignored. And that's exactly what it comes down to. It was ignored over, you know, PC. And they gave up on it. They really did. They gave up on it. They won't outright say that, but they did. They gave up on it. It hurts and it sucks because now I have a pretty much a dead account that I can't do anything with, you know. And if I can move it to PC, that'd be great, because then I could just bring every single thing I own and then some over to PC, and I don't have to feel like I lost everything, because that's kind of what it feels like. The queue times on here, usually very busy. My tea time about AM your time. I mean, that might be fair to a certain extent. Do you play on Xbox, Saberfang? Because if you do, like, that could be what it might be more popular depending on like where you're at, like locally, right? But like your local zone. But like, I've been playing on East Coast time zone for years and years and years and years, so you know, I'm used to the time zones of East Coast time and like the population of that time. So like, for it to be 19 players at 11 o'clock at night on East Coast, and that's only 8 o'clock on Pacific Coast, that's crazy. Like, that means that there is really, I mean, what's the prime time for East Coast? That'd be what, 6 p.m., right? Give or take, like 5 or 6 p.m. So yeah, I just hate the fact that it's like so dead over here. I do. And I hate it because like I can't do anything that I used to do. Plus, you know, we don't have a combat parser, right? We don't have a combat parser, which does or doesn't help. It just depends. I mean, like, again, I'm not one that chases meta stuff. I don't really care. I can build a meta. I don't. Again, it's not here nor there if I do it. What it is for me is like I still want to know how a build is performing, and unfortunately, for console, you kind of have to like eyeball everything, right? You have to for console. Here's how we used to calculate DPS. I don't know if they still do it anymore, but you go over to your combat log, right? And you would open up your combat log on console, and you would get like you would change the combat right here to combat self. You take off combat other, combat team, like all this stuff, right? You take all this stuff off, and then you would go in, do your fight, and then take your average numbers, and you would create an average, right? So let's say and there is a lot of like effects that go into play, right? So you would literally have to calculate this yourself. It was horrible. You would set a timer for like 1 minute or whatever, and you do like a 1 minute run, and you see what your DPS is. And like the thing is like console players at that time, they couldn't even pull like 40, 50K DPS. Like a lot of elite content wasn't getting completed and stuff. Like if it wasn't for players like Spencer or Stu or Nick or any of them, like or Cheops or whoever like that actually was putting out stuff that was like helpful, console players would have been like way behind like forever. With console, you have to consider Xbox and PlayStation unless they share servers. Exactly, and they don't share servers. They are on their own individual platforms. So that's the thing. I think PlayStation has slightly more players than Xbox because one, I know that PlayStation sales are better than Xbox, and I'm not one about the whole console wars and anything else. The only reason I have an Xbox over a console is because of Halo. That's the only reason. I'm a PC player at heart, but Halo, when it first came out, was not available on PC. So obviously I bought an Xbox for Halo because I love the Master Chief, obviously. Our whole consoles thing is, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, and yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other problem. And I do actually address this in Thursday's video. Console doesn't have custom UI changing at all. You cannot rearrange your HUD. You cannot resize your HUD. You cannot change a damn thing about your HUD. Your interface is stuck, and I hate it. And it bugs me because I'm constantly moving stuff. I'm constantly changing, layouts or whatever, or like, I don't like where this is, or hey, Spicy, your fat head's in the way. Can you move it out of there so we can see what's on your screen? No, I'll just move the overlay. My bad. So yeah, I these are all the things that I hate. Once you play PC and once you've been a part of the PC community, whether you started on PC or whatever, and you go back to it or whatever the case is, it's very hard to go back to something that is the nicest way of saying it is the same but inferior. Like that's just, I hate that. It's true. But that's the nicest way of me putting it, is it's the same but it's inferior. Because that's exactly what console is. It's like almost, I feel like console's like the mobile version of STO, where it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. I used to love playing it when I would sit back on the couch and just like kick my legs up and not have a keyboard and mouse in front of me and all that stuff. Like it's great in that aspect, but it's not so good if you're just like trying to actually like do something with the game more so than just have a ease of access of playing the game. I guess that's the way you could put it. Consoles like ease of access, right? It's accessible. You can play it. You can almost play it from anywhere nowadays, right? Like console stuff you can take with you wherever you go, on your mobile phone, on your tablets, stuff like that, right? So like, don't get me wrong. That's a good selling point for that aspect of the game. But you're not going to be able to really dive deep into STO unless it's on PC. And I hate that. I hate that so much. So I'm always going to root for the console community. I always will. I will root for you all. I really, what I hope is that they allow either movements, go back and forth between console and PC, because here's the thing. You can run STO on a potato. You really can. It doesn't take much for this game. It really doesn't. This game, but as much as I would want them to put a new engine in here, it doesn't require much to run this game as it is. So like, I think if for some players who might have a console because like the cost of making a PC is so high, or just buying a pre-built PC is so high, if you have like, I don't know, I would say a 2014 like HP Inspiron whatever laying around your house somewhere. Maybe your mom used to do I don't know, like retail sales or something, right? And she has something. Yeah, see, you could fire it up on there. You really could. PC requirements too high. I use a GF. Again, and that's the other thing too. You can play this on cloud for sure. Like if you have access to cloud gaming, like through remote PCs, like yeah, 100%, you can do that too. If they change the engine, it's still the same game until they utilize that, and that is very true as well. I still want to advocate for them to use the method that like Star Wars: The Old Republic has done, and that would be great to see them do. I just don't know if they have the team to do that. But like with Star Wars: The Old Republic, changing up their engine entirely and utilizing it is crazy. But Epoch Catharsis, I appreciate you for hanging out with us tonight. We may be kind of winding down here ourselves because we honestly, it's just been kind of a hangout night, and there really hasn't been a lot going on. I think I'm in the same boat as every single player that's playing right now. One, we're doing our filler event. Everybody's doing their filler event, right? So right now it's the Galactic Red Alert. I call it the filler event. Did I do it on this account? I have not. So we're gonna go do it. We're gonna go drop some space magic so we can get it on here, because why not? So we're doing this filler event and we're waiting for Ryza. That's correct. Everybody's waiting for Ryza. So is it a slow stream week, stream night? Yeah. And you know what? I almost thought to myself, would it be worth streaming tonight because of the fact that we didn't stream last night? And I still wanted to be here. I did. I had to kind of sit there and go, oh, well, last night, you know, power fluctuations and everything, like I was not able to stream. We got hammered by a good storm. But thing is like, I almost was like, is there anything for me to really stream? And I go, you know what? It's not about what I have to stream. It was about like hanging out with y'all and having a good time. You know, that's what it comes down to. And that's, I guess, like what brought me here anyways. But at the same time, I'm right there with y'all. Like we're all looking forward to one thing and one thing only, and that is the Ryzen summer event stuff, right? Because we got a new ship, we got new events, we got kit modules, we got kit frames, we got a lot of stuff coming like here really soon. So where's the unit matrix at? Oh, there it is. On console, you have animation. PC ain't got that or nothing. Well, actually, kinda. You do a lot of binds. If you actually look at my UI right now, I've got everything keybound right there on one key. I just fired off all of that on one key. So, I mean, kinda. I mean, you're not wrong, but you don't really need the automation on PC either, right? Like, so I mean, like, yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah, binds and GFN don't mix. That's fair. I understand where you're coming from with that. You're right. It's a little bit harder to do that, but I don't know. Could you? Yeah, I guess you're right. I answered my own question before I even said it. I was gonna say, could you even do that with cloud gaming with Xbox? And what the hell did I just do? I was cloud gaming on Xbox. Of course I can automate it through cloud gaming. I'm such a derp. Anyways, oh yeah, that's the other thing too. That's right. We got the new bridge coming. So we do have a lot to go over with the summer event, and that's exactly what it is. We have a lot to go over with the summer event. So I think that's why I said this week's just kind of a chill week. And I'm okay with that. Sometimes you just need a chill week. Sometimes, you know, you got so much going on. Bob's been on this like wacky adventure and everything. Let's just have a chill night. And as soon as that Ryza summer event hits, bam, we're gonna go all in on it. Bob's gonna have a lot of fun. He's gonna get some new friends. He's gonna get some new recruit characters, right? So that's gonna help him out. And at the end of the day, like it's gonna be something to do. So it's gonna be great. Console automation also is dependent on if another skill is in play or on cooldown. It's like a 9. It's like a yeah. The GOM tool will be nice to have. I always liked that episode of TNG. Yeah, and I'm very curious to see. I think it's cool. One, I like the fact that it's just it's a raw alien ship that I believe is the first in the game, meaning that it's not tied to a specific faction, right? Every ship in this game is tied to a faction, including like the Ferengi ships, the Dominion ships, the Klingons, the Federation, and the Romulans. I think the Gomtu is the very first ship that is not faction specific. It is an alien ship, which is kind of neat that that's the case, which means it's universally going to be available. Now, it doesn't mean really jack shit as far as like outside of the fact that like it's just a ship. But I'm saying it's kind of neat that they're making this an alien ship with its own unique bridge that they specifically designed a bridge for this ship, right? So, and they've been very quiet and under wraps about what the seating is, what the trait is, what really anything of it is. So I'm kind of like, all right, Cryptic, like what you guys got for us? I'm excited to see it. So yeah, I'm guessing that the console will have a damaging repel ability like it did in that episode. I'm excited. Yeah, well, yeah, and especially if they have that and it ties in. Well, you all know if it ties into anything EPG and exotic, I'm going to be super excited about it because, you know, like I said, you guys are familiar with this. On the main count, we just build EPG. We love EPG here. So if it's definitely something that I can play around with sciencey, and I think that's kind of why I love EPG builds so much myself. Is it's a little bit off the meta. Now, science is technically considered viable and meta-ish, right? And science can do a lot of damn good damage. I know I put it out all the time, but what I'm saying is like it's not typical to see science as often, or torpedoes, especially torpedoes, as often as it is to see beam, cannon, scatter, volley type of builds out there, right? You don't see a whole hell of a lot of science and kinetic builds or whatever. So I kind of like being that off-brand player, and I just, like I said, I love science. But a lot of the reason I love science is science dominates in PvP. It absolutely does. It's unquestionable that if you've ever experienced PvP in this game, you know for a fact that science dominates in PvP. It does. It always has. It never will not dominate in PvP. One, there's nothing that beats Subnuke. Subnuke is your number one thing in PvP. I don't know if PvP will ever come back to STO. I think we're kind of beyond that point. So I think I'm going to more or less reminisce on PvP and not really expect it to really come back because I don't know if they're going to be able to bring it back. But space magic rules, exactly. So that's a lot of where my love for science came from, is that it absolutely dominated in PvP. And I started off as a PvP player in this game, as a KDF, as a science officer early on. I've stuck with it and then transitioned it to PvE. So I will always have a love for magic. So if it's got a secondary deflector and I can do space wizard stuff, I will go and shart all over them because that's exactly what I love to do. I will, figuratively speaking, not maybe. That being said, folks, we are going to call it just slightly early tonight because it is a slow week, and I am going to use this time to go and polish up the video that I have for y'all on Thursday. It is going to be a collaboration video sort of with y'all here on the YouTube and Twitch side of things. Oh, Winter Fox, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate that. So Thursday is a part 2 follow-up to my 10 tips for beginners. Is going to be 5 more tips, and some of those tips are stuff that we've even talked about here on stream, and there are 5 of them that I've kind of just, again, like going over the fact that we have been going back as a free-to-play player and going, oh yeah, this would make our life so much easier. I'm like, I need to put these out there because I kind of forgot about them. So that being said, so video this Thursday, and then I know next week we have Monday and Tuesday night. We should be good for streaming. I don't see weather-wise it being an issue. Hopefully it won't be. If weather does play a factor, I do use the community tab in YouTube on our YouTube channel. If something comes up, you guys be sure to check there. I don't know about doing a Discord quite yet. We're not quite at a point where I can manage a Discord or anything, and nor do I really want to be fair. Not yet. That might come in the future. I know that might be easier to put information out there as far as letting you guys know if I'm going to be able to make the stream or not that night. So that is something we're going to look into, but just not right now. I think that's all I got, y'all. I mean, like, if y'all have any questions, you know, let me know now. If you guys got any suggestions, ideas, I think, like I said, next week we're all looking forward to the Rise of stuff, so that's coming. If nothing comes about by next Monday's stream as far as anything interesting, we'll start the new player the hardcore mode challenge next Monday, and that'll just be something fun to do to kind of fill our time. And then that's it, y'all. I think that's it for tonight. And then, like I said, it's just gonna be a little bit early of a stream, not too long, not too late. But I did have a lot of fun, a lot of great conversations, a lot of funny conversations. You guys are great, all of you, everybody on this channel. Like, don't matter if you're just joining us for the first time, if you've been around for a while or whatever. I mean, like, I sincerely believe STO has some of the greatest people I've ever had the chance to talk to in any kind of communities. And I played a lot of games over the years, and I've done streaming for a long time on different platforms and different accounts, and I've always come back to this one. But y'all really make it worth coming back here, so I definitely appreciate y'all. And I hope you and Agent Texas, yes, Texas is already dead asleep, and she didn't even want to come on camera tonight. She's a sleepy girl, but she'll be, we'll make sure she makes an appearance next Monday. So yes, we have our schedule on Twitch Monday, Tuesdays, and yeah, short week, but y'all have a good rest of your night. I'm Captain Spicy Pants. See you on the frontier.